motion to bring the meeting of April 11th, 2013, the town board workshop.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
It's just the three of us, that's right.
We'll salute the flag. You ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag,
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Got a moment of silence for the military serving in this country, out of this country, and the unfortunate ones who have not returned. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Doyle? Here. Councilwoman Reamer? Absent. And Councilwoman Prodi? Here. And Supervisor Flood?
Yeah. Darlene Reamer has a death in the family and is in Florida, so she will not be here at the meeting. So, there's just the three of us. Public comments? You any?
I do not have a sign-up sheet. Does anybody want it?
Cheryl Morse, Town of Amenia. I get a lot of calls from people. Obviously, I come here and address the board pretty often, and I just want to say that I do have some concerns based on things that I'm hearing from people about openness and transparency. And in some cases, some areas and departments, people are doing a good job, but in other areas, they are not. And this needs to change, and I am hopeful that it will, but I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing in the capacity that I am, looking into things for people, and I'm going to be starting a page on Facebook, Amenia Watchdog, so that I can report on events as they occur accurately and factually. And for those people who do not have computer access, I will be making a newsletter of what I'm posting, and you can send me a self-addressed stamped envelope to P.O. Box 645, Amenia, New York, 12501, and I will provide you with that same information. So thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you. Highway Department, Stanley's not here. Water Department, we have Marco is here.
All right, this month we've used 3,700,000 gallons of water. Average in distribution was about 120,000 gallons per day with a day of 150,000. Again, March was the month that we had the leak on the service line on Route 44. Average loss, approximately 35,000 gallons per day. Took 2 coliform samples, both passed. Highlights for the month, the end of March, at the beginning of April, actually, we did the meter reads. They're complete. The bills have started going out yesterday with some follow-ups. We had 4 meters that were unable to read. One of them was a repeat, the rest of them were new.
Actually, I think you have 20.
Excuse me?
There's 20.
4 meters were unable to read, 20 were 0 reads.
Right.
They read, and they read as 0.
Okay.
They read as 0. What we're doing with those 20 is we went around to the community. I drove around yesterday, spending 3 hours driving around trying to find out if the houses were vacant or not. Sent a list to the billing department and let them know which houses were vacant, which houses were not. The houses that are not, we're going to send a estimated bill, a high estimated bill similar to last quarter at a rate of $500, and that bill will be adjusted accordingly once we get access to verify if the meter is working correctly or not. But these meters did read, and they read as 0 usage. They were not a fail. So something's going on, not sure exactly what. That's why we want to investigate and figure out what's going on so we can have an answer for you come next meeting. We did replace both chlorinator pumps out there now, one at Lavelle Road, one at Washington Court. Annual water quality report was sent to Department of Health, awaiting their approval. We have until May 31st to get that out to the public. There'll be two means of getting this to the public. One will be on the Town of Amenia website. The other will be at in a mailing going out to the community, and that's going to the owners of
What's
the
that for?
building. Annual water quality report. We also worked on getting some quotes for cathodic protection, which is due. I did send that in the package to the board, the cheapest being the one that we're currently using, which is Core Pro. I recommend with the water committee that we go ahead and sign that contract. And that is for the protection of our tank, our water tank, which is in very good shape. We did also get generator quotes. And the generator quotes that we got were from Kinsley and H.A. Schreck. H.A. Schreck being the provider that has given us service the last few years. If you remember, a few years ago, we went ahead and combined the fire departments with the water departments to get a cheaper rate. Very competitive, Kinsley and Schreck. I do, with the water committee, recommend H.A. Schreck due to the lower price. Also, level 1 service, since the generators were used quite a bit the last year for power outages. We also, being proactive on the water tank cleaning, so we have a sanitary inspection. We weren't required to clean the tank this go around. We're required to inspect it when I review it with the health department this year. If they recommend that we get our tank cleaning upon the inspection, I do have quotes in there, and the lowest quote being Liquid Engineering, and I recommend them.
How much was that?
That was Liquid Engineering
So
was 6,000 and change
That's a day.
for the day.
So is it
They
1
can
to
get-
2 days?
They can get that done in one day.
1 day?
Correct.
So these are the contracts?
Those are the contracts.
Or these are just copies of the contracts?
Copies of the contracts that were mailed to me. So
Who's
those
got
could
the
be-
original contracts?
The original contracts are with you. The original contract for Shrek and for the...
This is all I have.
Well, the original contract was given to me from Sherry, so I would assume that the original contract would still be with you. I was given a copy.
Okay.
For Shrek, and also for the cathodic protection, Core Pro, I have the original here for Core Pro. And the original for Liquid Engineering too. H.A. Schreck, the contracts would be, again, level 1 service that we recommend. Okay, any questions?
Where are we with the backflow certification, cross-contamination? I don't think we still have a policy in place, and
We have a draft that's being done by, we talked to, what's it, Miller, the engineer in Poughkeepsie?
Who'd you talk to?
The head engineer in Poughkeepsie?
Ron Miller, you did?
Ron Miller, yeah, we spoke to him last week.
Okay.
We have some stuff from him, and then I believe Ian just spoke to him about the state. The state has a thing that we just have to download. Ian's
Correct.
away on vacation this week. When
Correct.
he gets back, we should have it done.
So
We have a draft of something that was done.
So question I have is this program that I documented and sent to you, which I've done with the health department already, has all the information, is exactly the template that the health department wants. Why are we reinventing the wheel? Again, this is what I'm licensed for as a D license to be in charge of cross-contamination. I write your proposal. It's part of my
You
job.
may be in charge of it, the county, I'm just making sure that we're not getting, the issue we had with the first one, Marco, is that you wanted to do the installation, the inspection, and so on
No, I
and so
didn't.
forth. That's
I
the
never,
first one.
none of that was ever in my.
Sure it was.
No, it was not, Bill. None of it was. This program that I sent you
And then
last...
also, the original draft was that everybody had to have RPZs and this valve and so on and so forth. That's not everybody.
Again, incorrect.
Well, maybe I
There's a
misunderstood
list.
you then.
This one right here, Bill, the one that I sent to the town board, was sent out last month, all right, the town board. This one was already worked with the Department of Health. I spent days working on this with them. This is an approved program. This is an approved document from them. What I'm requesting is that this be implemented, and I'm also requesting that the town put it in their bylaws to help generate revenue for the water department and initiate the fines if necessary. I'm the operator. I am the person that would be enforcing this, okay?
You're the contractor.
I am the operator of your water system.
You are the contractor of the water system.
Okay.
You're not an employee of the water system.
I didn't say I was an employee. I am the operator.
He said he was the operator, he's the operator.
Have you read Part 5, 4
Sure.
sanitary code of my job responsibilities as a water operator?
No.
Okay. In there it clearly states that I am responsible, and this is what you hired me for, to make sure that your water system is safe, that your water system meets all regulations. And that's what you hired me for, Bill. This is what the town has hired me for, is put me in charge to do for the past several years. We've always been in regulation. We've had no violations. I have gone and done this program, which has, again, saved the town money because you don't have to hire an engineer to do it, because this is part of my job. It's already approved by the health department. This is what they want, okay? I'm requesting that you're missing an opportunity for violations to not be collected on. Violations not being collected on would be similar to the building department if they went out of violation without permits, did buildings, whatever, they do fines. You have a officer that goes ahead and makes sure that they get implemented, make sure fines get collected, make sure permits get done. And I'm asking you
You're
the
going
same
to do
thing.
that?
That is my job as the water operator. That is my
You're
job
gonna
to make
collect
sure
the
I
money? You're
maintain
going
these.
to collect the money as the...
No, the town collects the money. I make sure I collect the records, and I
Well,
maintain
then
the records.
The question I have, Marco, is then why do we have people that don't have RPZs here already?
Because you have not adopted the program yet. I
They
can adopt
filed
it.
building permits, but it's not done.
Again, we can adopt the program in this town. The state has...
I have no problem adopting any program.
Okay, so then why aren't we
You're in
adopting this program?
violation, you've been in violation for years. It's not
Exactly.
something that happened yesterday.
And I've been bringing it up for a long time.
Right,
This
3
is-
years.
This is done.
Right.
This meets the state requirements. I'm asking the town to bring it to a next level, to go ahead and collect
Can we just-
I have no
revenues.
problem with
Make a
it.
motion
No
that
problem.
we-
That's, I just wanted Ian to take a look at, make sure that we're all set. That's it.
There's nothing for Ian to look at. This has already been
Well,
documented from the
I
state.
disagree with you.
What I would like Ian to do is look at how we levy the fines.
That's
And how
right.
that process gets done. That's not in here. This in
Okay.
here is strictly meets the health requirements, saying that establishments that we have listed in here, not by name, but by description, we don't recommend, they have to have RPZs, okay? If they don't, we basically can turn their water off, they're in violation. Where you're missing the program is collecting the revenues when they're out when they're in violation.
A program, something for us to vote on will be at the next meeting?
And I'm leaving that up to the town.
And who will decide on the fines? Is that something the attorney does, or who does?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's,
That's-
that's all we're looking for, is the legal stuff to make sure that whatever we adopt is fine.
Yep.
The original fines, that's been a while since I've seen that.
The fines, I'm going to recommend, you guys do what you want to do, but I'm going to recommend the fines be hefty enough that they get the inspections done. And if they don't,
Well,
my
we're gonna see, we
recourse...
just started sending out the stuff for the water meters now, last payment, and we finally got some of those done. They've been going on for years.
Correct.
These
The-
zero readings have been going on for years.
For the RPZs?
No, for the meter readings. So we're finally getting caught up on that stuff, on the meters.
But
So
but
there are
we're
issues
talking
there, too.
about the
I know,
RPZs
but
right
there are-
now.
We need to catch up on a lot of stuff that's not being done. And I
Okay.
agree with the RPZs. I just had mine inspected, and I have to have mine replumbed, because it's not plumbed right.
Correct.
So-
Correct. They're not replumbed right. This document meets our health department requirements.
Okay?
I'm
With
requesting...
that document and the fines or whatever it's gonna be levied.
There's no fines. I'm not dealing with the fines, Bill. That is,
We need to do the fines.
You
The
do the
fines
fines.
are
This-
town
this gets us in
responsibility.
Well, I'm
compliance.
just
with the
saying,
county.
that we can do both at the same time.
absolutely.
Sure, that's fine. I have no problem with that.
Yep, but I would like for us, I would like to hear from the board that you agree with what I sent out. It's already been approved by the health department. They're willing to accept this from the town of Amenia to get us in compliance. They give us 3 months to get the town in compliance. On top, during those 3 months, Ian should be putting together a separate program for fines, okay, and collections and all that. I would enforce, I have to enforce this, okay? I have to keep the records. I turn the water on and I turn the water off. I make sure that the
But you could have an
inspection-
independent inspector do your,
I'm not talking inspection. I'm talking inspections are done by a certified inspector,
Correct.
not me. I don't want John to do it. I don't want me to do it. It's a third party. The town should not be doing it. It's a
Where there's a
conflict.
list from the state
There's a list from the state, and that's in here
of
also.
all of them.
And a list of certified RPZs that would be required. All I'm asking is if this will be adopted by the town to meet our health department requirements for cross-contamination program. If so, after this meeting, I would recommend that this document be sent out as soon as possible. We can adjust the dates and give everybody a 3-month leeway, and I can talk
well,
to
when
them.
is the water report done? It's not printed yet, right?
Which water report?
That hasn't gone out yet.
This?
No, the other,
The annual water quality report?
yeah,
No.
that's not, so when will that be, that's not going out to next quarter anyway, right?
No, it's going to go out before May 31st.
So we're gonna have another two mailings for the water?
Absolutely.
Okay,
That's the health department.
right, well, they didn't get it.
They
Um,
they didn't get it?
They got it,
Okay.
but it was late.
It was late?
I think so, yeah, they're having issues.
May
with it.
31st is our cutoff date. When is the requirement done? When they put in the template from the health department, that didn't get out till February.
Right.
We got them by March. We got them the annual water quality report that we get at the same time every year.
Well, maybe, they're not printed, right? They're not done.
They
Are they
can't be
done?
done. They're not approved by the health department yet. Health
No.
department has to review it. The health department, if you weren't aware,
No, I'm 100% aware, but they're not done yet.
I can't send them out until they're approved by the health department.
Okay.
Well, the
That's
health
all I said.
department's backed up because of the problem in East Fishkill and Hyde Park
Right.
with the water contamination there.
Okay, so I would like to get an okay on this if I can get a hold of the health department and tell them that we've adopted a program.
I'd make a motion.
Doesn't have to do with
that we
anything with the
adopt-
fines. I'm just talking about, we have adopted a cross-contamination program with the town of Amenia. I'm not worried about the fines, I'm not worried about anything. If you don't want to put any fines in, like I said, you're losing revenue in the water department. I'm just requesting, what you paid me for is make sure we're in compliance.
I think we can go ahead and implement the policy, less the fines. When Ian comes back from vacation and we have a full board, we can decide on the fines that are appropriate and move forward. The water committee's looked at it, they are happy with it. The health department has looked at it, they're happy with it.
Sure.
Then we're in compliance with that portion of it, and we can move on. You have a question in the back.
Yes.
Really, I'm showing total ignorance, but would you explain, what are RPZs, what are you talking about?
Sure. This program.
I'm not up to date on that.
Sure.
Tell me what that means.
The cross-contamination program is basically, it's been a state-required law for a while to protect the water supply. And what we want to prevent is any type of cross-contaminations from any other water source or non-water source that would contaminate our water supply. And usually it's industrial, usually it's commercial. It could be anything from restaurants, mechanic shops, dry cleaners, funeral homes. Those are some examples. It can go as far as residential, and residential being sprinkler systems, automated sprinkler systems. It can be autofills of any type of device, being swimming pool, heaters.
I think she
etc.
wants to know how it works. Yeah, I think,
Sure.
yeah, what they are.
Our RPZs, how they work is they basically stop the flow of water.
What is RPZ? Tell me what RPZ stands for. What's this, that's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
figure.
it's a positive pressure valve.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Okay, positive pressure valve.
Yeah, and what it does is it keeps positive pressure and water flow in one direction, and when you lose pressure, it stops the flow and dumps any water that's coming back out. Make sure they
So
don't
that it
leak.
can't flow back in.
It's kinda like a check
So you
valve.
don't get a backflow?
Like a siphon.
So you don't get septic in your water,
So we
basically.
have those or we don't have those?
We have some already in the commercial in the area. We're not 100%
Is it supposed to be on
compliant.
every building?
No, there's requirements in here that,
Just certain buildings?
yes.
Yeah, the building department sent out letters, right? To people, to the places where they were required, just to give them a heads up on the new program.
Right. I mean, this is definitely a program that we should adopt soon. All the neighboring municipalities basically have the same layout that Marco is proposing. So I think this is something you should take serious. We can iron out the fines and the fees, what have you, down the road. But this is definitely something we should implement
Now,
right now.
Yeah, my job would be making sure that I keep track of the database, and when the annual inspections are due, all the reports, the inspections and such would come to the water department. And when they come to the water department, I can update the database. And then when when the inspector comes around and asks me, do we have a program? Yes, we do. Can I see where you have, who's, let me see your database and see who's done the inspections, and do we have any out of compliances? And I can show them that record too. All that would be kept. That's,
Also, the
pretty
health
standard.
department wants to see the,
Absolutely. The health department gets a copy of the inspection. I'm responsible to keep track of the database. So I get a copy of the
well,
inspection.
the health department's requesting the inspections.
Yeah. The health department requests the inspections. They don't send out a letter, though. They don't usually send out a letter. They'll come to me and ask me when
No,
they
they
do their
came to me.
inspection. I'm glad they do, but I can't guarantee that will happen. It does not always happen. If the inspector is doing, if it's a health establishment, you deal with the health department as a restaurant. So they'll probably ask for it from you. Gas station probably wouldn't. They usually don't deal with the health departments. Service shop may
Does the
not.
gas station here have one? No.
The gas station up here does have one now. We have to get one at Cumberland Farms. I recommend the service areas. There's requirements in here, who needs them and who doesn't. So,
but most of those people have had letters, right, John?
Yes.
yeah,
Because that's what we did. We
But
had,
some of them are not done, right? So
some of them are not done.
yeah, just gave a heads up letter saying, okay, this is what you need to do, so.
The Department of Health is requesting that we adopt it as a municipality. We don't have anything stating that we can enforce this.
Mhm.
Well,
So this is what they're looking for.
the only person that can enforce it is right now is technically me. I can shut off their water. I'm backed by the
Well,
health department to do that.
that's
Do you
like
have
the
a copy
last.
I have a copy on my desk. Do you have a copy there now?
I do have another copy here for you. So the only thing I would
So
recommend is,
what is this called? This is what it is, a cross-contamination backflow
that's right,
prevention assemblies required program for the town of Amenia?
that's it. And it's got associated links in there for where you can find inspectors for Dutchess County. It's also got the associated links of what RPZs are qualified and not qualified. And that's our plan right there for the town. It's plain and simple. That's pretty much verbatim from the state. The health department approved it. Ron Miller has already approved it. All I'm waiting for as a courtesy is the town to say that they approve that.
Do you want to make this motion to adopt this thing?
Sure. So.
The only thing I recommend before you say anything, on the dates on there, I have the 3-month time period in there. Do you want to implement it?
Yeah, we have to change the date, yeah.
Would you like to change the date? And if so, what date would you like to change it to, giving a 3-month period to have this in place?
Well, you tell us, because you're going to have to send these letters out.
Correct.
With a date that works.
Correct.
For when they receive it.
So the town has to send the letter out, and I would expect that copy to be sent out. Do you want to start it next week?
By April 15th?
Ap-
Or let's see.
April,
Next week.
let's do April 18th, and then
Okay.
from April 18th to July 18th to be in compliance.
To July 18th, okay.
If you could make that change on there, please.
Okay.
And then we can go ahead and, again, I recommend, it's up to you, but I recommend that you do something with fines, because my enforcement will be to shut their water off. You'll get the headache phone calls. I can't turn it back on until they get in compliance.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm in violation of my license, and putting you as a town in violation for regulations. Okay?
Okay, I'll make a motion that we adopt the cross-contamination policy entitled Cross-Connection Control backflow prevention assemblies required program for the town of Amenia
I second.
with a start
July.
date of April
April
18th to July 18th, 2013. Compliance date of July 18th, 2013.
Councilwoman Perotti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Supervisor Flood?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Yes.
Okay.
And also the 18 or 20 meters that are not reading, right?
There's 0 reads. They read. So they're not, it's not that they're not reading. They have actually read and read 0. 0 usage.
Okay, but from my understanding, the bills are gonna go out with a $500
Correct.
charge.
Correct.
On these bills, so we can get in and fix them,
Correct.
correct? Because it's going on for a while.
Yeah, that's a flat rate.
So that's a flat rate of what we're gonna bill, so the public knows that when they get their bill, if they have a meter that's not reading, they're gonna be charged $500.
They're going to be charged $500. They'll get
Correct.
a letter in there to contact me.
Right.
I will verify if the meter is functioning correctly or incorrectly at
Correct.
that time, and then we'll adjust their rate accordingly.
All right,
That's going to be a standard policy.
okay.
The DOT permit did come, thank you, to deal with the state, so we can work in the state roads. That has been approved, that did come today.
We also got the
Laval Road.
the Laval Road.
Do you want to read it?
No, it's just, we had to put a 15-day notice in the paper.
Good.
That's gotta go out to bid probably in the end of 15
Needs to
days or
be read.
whatever. What?
Do you want her to read it, or you read it? Somebody needs to read it.
New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, notice of complete application 227, this is the second one, by the way, 22713, Town of Amenia, 4988 Route 22, Amenia, New York. Facility 38 Laval Road, Well 4A, Amenia, New York. Application ID 3-1320-00086/0009. Permit applied for 1-Article 24, freshwater wetlands project located in Amenia in Dutchess County. Project description: the town of Amenia proposed the restoration activities to be conducted for well 4A pump house facility located at the end of Laval Road. The proposed work consists of a gravel footpath to the existing pump house, a gravel access to existing well, the establishment of water main valve, the removal and replacement of fire hydrant, and installation of a 6x6 pressure-treated edging barrier. The proposed activities will take place within the freshwater wetland AM9. Availability of application documents, filed application documents, and department draft permits where applicable are available for inspection during normal business hours at the address of the contact person to ensure timely service at the time of inspection. Is recommended that an appointment be made with a contact person. State environmental quality review determination: project is not subject to secret because of the type 2 action. Secret lead agency, none designated. State Historic Preservation Act, SHPA determination: cultural resource list and map have been checked. No registered, eligible, or inventoried archaeological sites or historic structures were identified in the project location. No further review in accordance with SHPA is required. DEC Commissioner Policy 29, Environmental Justice and Permitting, has been determined that the proposed action is not subject to CP 29. Availability for public comment. Comments on this project must be submitted in writing to the contact person no later than 3/21/2013 or 15 days after the publication notice of this notice, whichever is later. Contact person: Joseph R. Murray, New York State DEC, 21 South Corners Road, New Paltz, New York.
And that was in today's Millerton News.
Okay.
So it's now April 26th for the comment period.
So that'll go out to bid after the.
Also, I requested, I sent you all an email requesting, we definitely have to get some topsoil over by wells 5 and 6. Cheapest being Gromax at $20 a yard of topsoil, delivery $100 delivery charge. Need about 20 yards. We do need grass seed and hay. Thank you, Victoria, for pointing out 50-pound bale of hay versus a little tiny square bale.
Well, I know a little bit about hay.
So thank you. Yeah, so we only need 1 bale of hay, not 3. So yeah, and that is from Tractor Supply. That and the grass seed, Gromax being $20, the cheapest compared to the other areas that we got prices on. Is that okay?
I would,
Sure.
are we ready to go ahead and
Yes.
approve that?
Make a motion, we approve the
Purchase of topsoil.
purchase of topsoil,
Grass seed and
grass
hay.
seed, and hay for the water
Grow
district.
Max at $20 per yard, delivery $100. And the seed.
So I'll get a PO from Sherry on that.
We have to vote. A second?
Here it is. I think he wrote it out.
No, that's fine, I just need
No.
a second.
Oh,
He-
I'll
Bill?
second
Supervisor
that.
Flood made a motion, so
Yep.
we have a second, and now we just do a quick roll call. Thank you, Victoria. Councilwoman Prodi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle, and
Yes.
Supervisor Flood.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Bill had a question that he emailed me just before I came into the meeting. Thank you, Bill. Who?
Are you gonna do the work, or
Who's
is it
going to do
town
the work?
Highway?
I was planning on doing the work. I don't think it's, if you want the highway guys to do it, it's up to you, but
I don't know what kind of work.
just dumping it and spreading and throwing seed on it.
That's fine.
It's not, probably a few hours worth of work, nothing major. No big machines really needed or anything, just rakes and shovels.
Right.
Wheelbarrows.
Do you have that equipment? Do you have that stuff to do?
I got some rakes and shovels and wheelbarrows. Now, is there any other questions?
The generator?
The generator?
Service contract?
Yeah, we need to do that.
Approve that?
We have Shrek, I just signed it.
Okay, but do you need a,
You didn't sign Shrek, I have Pro and Liquid Engineers, so if you want to just make a motion on, and then
Shrek should be in
We
your
need to
package.
vote on
Should be in the
the
package.
generators.
Should be in that
Yeah.
package, Dawn, that was printed.
okay.
He has the,
Again, with a level 1
wait,
service.
that's the ones that we don't have the originals to?
I don't have the
Does it
original.
matter what he signs?
It doesn't
what
matter if
copy?
the originals
I think we
are
just
not.
authorize
They're all
him
the
to
same.
sign.
Authorize, and then tomorrow we can.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we authorize the supervisor to sign the service contract with H.A. Shrek for level 1 service. And I guess also for cleaning we wanted to do the cathodic protection.
That's
Yeah.
Russell?
Cathodic protection is CorePro.
From
Corpro?
Corpro.
Yes.
Yeah.
Corpora's been doing
We're
it
just
for
doing
years.
the level 1
Yeah.
service for the
CorePro.
generators.
Yeah,
Right.
CorePro's been doing it for years for us. They are by far thousands cheaper than others. When I mean thousands, I mean
We are gonna do
$5,000,
that.
$6,000, $7,000 cheaper than others. So,
There's 3 separate things, he just.
Okay, and then I'll add to that motion that we accept Liquid Engineering's
tank cleaning.
tank cleaning.
Yep. But like I said, I would just like to have it accepted. We're not going to do anything with it yet until
That's
we're
what it is.
required to, so we won't have to worry about it right now.
Accepted for $6,255 upon the request
From the health department.
The health department.
Correct.
When's that? This is only good for 30 days.
So they've been on us
Assuming
for
that
months.
it's
I'm sure
valid.
they'll work with us. They'll be on it for months. But I just wanted to know that we went out and got prices already, and the prices aren't going to change thousands of dollars. So they've been on us for months about it, and we've been putting them off because it hasn't been required yet to get the tank cleaned. We're not in any violations of any of our parameters to require that. So if the health department requires
Second.
it, that's my job to deal with them and make sure that I prove to them we're not in violation. And if they still request it, then I've done my job and we can move on. Is there any questions? I've been,
I think we need to vote on that.
go ahead.
Okay, so we have a motion, and it was seconded by Councilwoman Prodi. Councilwoman Prodi?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
And Supervisor Flood?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Now, Bill mentioned earlier that myself being a contractor and an operator, I just want to talk about the differences. Do you understand the differences? The board would like to discuss it. If a contractor is a contractor, but what my job is as a water operator that you hired me for, would you like to discuss what the,
No, you have a contract with us.
would you like to discuss what it means to be a water operator from New York State Department of Health, why I'm licensed, what I'm required to do? Does anybody have any questions on that? So there's a
I think that's clear. I'm getting clear in my mind where your parameters are, but the question that came up at the water district meeting was things like, when he is creating a fix. We had an emergency, which we overcame, and I think the policy should be clear that if he has emergency and needs a PO for an item, that, I talked to you, Bill, informally, but I think it should be clear to everybody that there's a process in place that he can call one of the town board members and get an okay to go ahead and make the fix, that he doesn't need to wait until Sherry is around to issue a PO. So that seems like a valid procedure?
Well, you were there, the leak, and I was there within, both of us, all of us were there with the leak. So at this point, by the time I got there, you'd already you already got the pump. They
Well,
replaced the
yeah.
pump, right? That was it.
Yeah, it wasn't working.
Right.
The one
But
they
maybe he
had.
should
Or
have
service.
a PO in, on file that he
Right.
can have in case of emergency up to X number of dollars. I don't know, there should be a way
Well,
that
well, I thought it
should
was,
happen.
he needed to contact a board member.
That's one alternative,
just-
and maybe another option would be for him to have a PO on file that would be utilized in case of emergency when he can't get it immediately from Sherry. I mean, I'm happy with him calling one of the town board members and explaining why he can't wait until she's in, potentially 24 hours later. He needs to be able to do what he needs to do rather than jump out of the hole that he's trying to fix the water leak and find Sherry or someone to issue a PO. And if, as long as the procedure's clear, I think, everybody will be fine and we'll go with it.
Well, the only reason you needed a PO because they had to replace the pump, right? Other than that, you have all the other parts.
Yeah, all the other parts were fine, but again, if I ever come across that we don't have, it doesn't mean we don't have every single part. For
Correct.
example, when that line was hit out in front of the restaurant, we didn't have that part in stock. I had to, get that, and that was one of your guys going down to Carmel Windwater to get it.
Right.
But again, if we do this, hopefully we never have a call in the middle of the night, but I can't promise you we don't. Just however you guys would like me to deal with it. If you want me to wake you up, I'll wake you up. If you just want to say it's okay, obviously I'm working on an emergency. If I have to get something, make a call, bring in an extra crew, bring in whoever to solve this problem, I want to make sure that it's okayed by the board. I'm doing it for your reason, for your benefit. I'm not doing it for my benefit. I want to make sure that the problem gets solved in a timely manner and correctly. If I have to get parts, again, bring an extra crew, a different piece of machinery. How would you like me to proceed on that? And
Well,
during
is the
the-
highway crew going to do it at this point?
No, I needed the highway crew, which I recommended for the highway crew to do it for cost savings for the town, because we were in a state road.
Well,
we
that's
needed-
what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Are you going in the future going to use them, or are you going to bring
If
another
I need to,
contractor?
absolutely. I have my own equipment to use. I've done it before myself. Stanley and his crew were great help assisting, and it was cheaper going that
I
way
know,
than prevailing rates.
That makes sense to use the highway if they can do it.
Absolutely. If
Well,
we can use the
actually,
highway.
Stan worked as an independent contractor there at
Stan
that
brought-
time.
Yeah, I requested Stan to bring in his equipment
Right.
over mine because
So
he had
he
the
brought
hammer
in
on
his
there.
own excavator.
Had his hammer on there because you saw how thick the road was to get through.
I mean, we had to
So-
go through pavement and,
Right, so I requested Stanley, who had that specialized piece of
44.
equipment, to bring that in. I also requested the highway crew to do it because it was in a state road. We needed flaggers. It was the cheapest alternative to do for the town. Now, I can't guarantee that the highway department's going to be available every time. It worked out perfectly that time. I'm going to use them when I can. If it's something as simple as some of the other service line leaks that we've had.
For years they've done it.
For years, they did it before, but for the past 3 years, I've done it.
Right, they did it before for years.
But is there any issues or problems with, how would you like me to proceed in notification if we need
Give
to
us
get
a
something
call.
done? Call anybody,
Sure,
anytime, any day.
Yeah,
sure.
Okay,
I think that's-
thank you. Thank you. That's,
And then the other question that came up at the Water Committee meeting was, Karen, as I understand, when I made the motion that we hire her, is that she is exactly taking the place of what Jane did for water billing.
correct.
So no more, no less, that's what she does?
Right.
Okay. So I think there was a little disconnect as to who would be doing the water reads and that sort of thing. Then it also came to my attention, I didn't realize it because I didn't read it all carefully, I guess, was that Sherry has become the water district treasurer. Is that something that we've always had and I just missed?
I assume she's always done it.
Is that just a formality or is that a
It was
new-
there before when I got
Okay.
involved.
All right, maybe I just never noticed it, but then is she responsible as treasurer for making sure that all of the bills that come in stay in the right
All
allocation?
she does is collect the money.
Okay.
For what?
So who
She's
signs and
handling
writes
the
the
money.
invoices?
So he needs a copy of the vouchers at the very minimum that are submitted so that he can keep an eye on the budgeting, unless there's somebody else keeping an eye specifically on the water district. I would think that he knows it better than anyone else.
Well, yeah, he gets the receipt when
is
when the,
correct.
yeah, when the supplies are,
He buys them.
Right.
Yeah.
So he
yes,
signs off
he
on it.
orders them, and he has,
Right.
gets the receipt when he gets them, so he should be able to see the bill that comes in to reconcile the two. And that isn't happening right now.
Well, that's what the bookkeeper's paid for.
So the
She owes.
bookkeeper needs to make a copy of any bill that comes in with a voucher. And make sure that he's signed off. and
Because
had a chance
before
to look at it.
January, he saw them. Why isn't he
I
seeing
saw him and had to sign
the-
off. Sherry requested
Why
me to
isn't
sign
he
them
seeing
off.
them anymore?
For the past 3 years, I've been signing off all vouchers. Sherry's always put them in my box. I've always had to sign them. I always had to
Well, all the
validate.
vouchers come from you, most of them, right?
Most of them come from me, but
I
there's
think
some
the
that come
issue
from.
is we had some stuff delivered to your house, right?
Of course, it's my office.
Right. And then we
What's
had-
that? Is that an issue?
I think the commission has an idea, issue is what's being delivered and where, right?
Really? Does the committee have a? Do you have a
No?
problem?
Okay.
Okay, so that's my office. It's been done that way for the past 3 years. That's my office
Yeah.
location. If I have to sign for stuff, the only thing that does not get delivered to my house is the chlorine, because there's 5,000 pounds of chlorine being delivered.
Right.
I don't have the means to transport it, and they deliver it in pallets to the pump house. And I have them give me a 2-hour call. UPS is not going to call me 2 hours ahead of time to make sure I'm home to sign, or at a pump house to sign for something. So my office is my
So I don't
home
understand what the
location.
big deal is if you sign off on them or whatever. You
I'm
ordered,
just
you
requesting.
ordered the material,
That's
correct?
right. That material's fine.
The
I'm talking
bookkeeper,
to,
the town is responsible for the bills,
absolutely.
correct?
But do you-
Well, why aren't they being verified with what was being delivered?
Because he ordered it.
Well,
what about
yeah, but
He
he-
software?
signs off on a bill, though.
Right.
If you don't do the voucher, then nobody necessarily, who says what line the stuff comes out of? In other words, it's a formality, but it seems like he should be in the loop. If there are bills that come to the town hall, he should verify, yes, I received
I ordered.
500 tons of
So
chlorine.
here's a perfect example. I
so
ordered
he can,
chlorine
we can be
earlier this
sure we're
year.
paying for what we got, and
I ordered chlorine earlier this year, and we also had reimbursements from empties that were picked up. I never saw that voucher. But yet, here's a voucher right here Sherry put in my box from Pages when I ordered the batteries and muric acid. So why would I not sign
I don't know.
both? Why would I
Must
not
be
get
just a
both?
disconnect. We'll just make sure that that policy is clear, that he should be in the loop.
Because you get chlorine once a year, right? Is it once a year?
That's what I try to do. I'd like to deliver it once a year and never worry
I
about it.
saw the invoice come through.
Yeah.
So I think that, those were the main
Yeah.
questions, unless there's anything
Yeah.
else.
Also, like I said, is there any questions about what my job is as a water operator? Does anybody have any questions? Do they have any questions at all about what my job is as a water operator? As a chief responsible and charged
The only
operator?
issue I have is that your insurance expired.
My insurance expired?
Your insurance expired
When did that
Oh.
expire?
a few months, a year ago. That's the only problem I had with you so far, is your workman's comp expired.
My workman's comp, I was,
Right, you got it a month later, you have new ones, there's no question.
you know,
That's the only concern I've had,
okay.
that's it.
And
If you have
that,
people working in a hole, they have to be insured, and I talked to you about it, and that was it.
absolutely. And that's my
Right.
right as a business, as a business and owner operator to waive that. You requested it, I got it.
Correct.
No
Well, your
problem.
contract says you have to have it.
For my employees, I should have it, yes.
Correct. And
But
you-
not for
right.
myself, but
Right,
I have it.
right.
It's no problem. So, any questions on again, I'm going to ask one more time, any questions on my job responsibilities deemed upon me by the state and my licenses?
Well, the problem I have, the only thing I said, I think your contract, what you have with the town, and what you're required of by the state are two different things.
It's
So,
requ-
the contract you have, and I'm not saying anything wrong, is extremely vague.
Mhm.
It's not a very good contract.
Yep,
So, that's,
I agree.
it's signed, it is what it is. And everybody's read it.
The one
I'm not saying
catch-all,
anything wrong, it's just, it's very vague.
yeah, the one
It's not
catch-all,
great.
Well, I think the two of them together
Right.
describe what we've hired.
Right, I
Martha
think
to
you're
do.
making a mountain out of a molehill here.
Yeah,
with
the
water
one
district is
catch-all
very
in there is-
small.
Well,
Well, actually,
it
I
was my
mean-
confusion, maybe, or others that when we hired somebody new, I was confused. I thought that Marco was basically following in the heels of
Gary.
Gary,
That's
but
what I
then
should
you
be doing.
pointed out he's not an employee, so then I
Right.
started questioning how the budget was being managed, prepared, overseen, and I'm getting clearer.
The Water Commission runs the Water District.
The water committee?
The Water Committee is in charge of the Water District, not Marco.
Oh, I don't think that's
I
correct.
don't think
They are
so.
simply a
So-
committee.
No,
They are simply a
Marco is-
committee.
So
He's a contractor to the Water District,
Right.
to the town.
But
The Water Commission makes the decisions, other than.
It's not a commission, it's a committee.
A committee,
committee,
right.
They're a committee.
we don't
Come,
make
could you,
decisions.
No.
May, could you go up to the microphone? Thank you.
We don't make the decisions, we discuss it with him.
Right.
And that's what we've been doing, discussing it with him. If we disagree or agree, we just discuss it and we'll see, and we try and get the best way of doing it. And that's what we've been doing.
The Water Committee, I want to say the Water Committee's done a good job. I want to say that they have kept me in check, making sure I understand the procurement policies and such. They've always highlighted that. That's great. The program, you have me listed as the Water Department Superintendent. Okay? Again, according to New York State, for your chief operator, it doesn't say anything about budgeting concerns, but if you look under superintendent, it does. But I'm the licensed operator to make all decisions, repairs, make sure that we're in compliance. And I definitely have been feeling a lot of friction lately for the past several months, that I want to make sure that we don't get out of compliance. If there's something that I need it for a reason.
Well, you've never been denied anything for your, not by me at all. So I don't know what you're looking at, but I feel the friction is between what you expect and what you signed with the town.
So the past 3 years, we have run the water department and made sure that we're always in compliance, had no violations, cut water usage 50%,
Sure.
met all these requirements. If you want to restructure the contract, I've offered that to you. If you don't want to restructure the contract, communicate to me what you specifically, other than the operator's chief responsibilities as mandated by New York State, what would you like differently for me not to run?
At this
not
point,
to be in charge?
I'm not going to get into it tonight. I'll talk to you about it, and
Okay.
we'll discuss it later.
Thank you. That's what I'm requesting. Thank you.
Right. And I think also, we've had this discussion, that the county is going to make a proposal.
No, we have never had this discussion.
Well,
No, we
I've heard you
haven't
about-
either.
I've heard you.
Well, it's just coming out that the
Yep.
county's wastewater and water authority
Mhm.
is going to make a proposal to take over a lot of water districts within Dutchess County.
Mhm.
And it's just a discussion.
Mhm.
So that's what they're having, because the issue with the water districts and sewer districts in the Dutchess County, people have kicked the can down the road and have not made the repairs, have not done anything to the water lines, and the cost of fixing these things
Yep.
is just prohibitive to the districts.
Absolutely.
So we've had that discussion about not maybe the county, but obviously servicing the water district is repairing what's got to be repaired is unattainable by this town.
So the county would come in and make all the repairs and then stick the bill to the residents who
Well,
may
no,
or
I'm
may
not
not
saying-
be able
Yep.
to afford it. I mean,
Whoa, before it gets crazy, that's what,
I don't know,
well, someone's
that
got to pay
sounds
for
to
it
me
anyway.
like that's what they'd be proposing, is that they would not be responsive to the realities of the town's ability. We're
problem-
Band-Aiding and we're maintaining. We're doing, I
That's
think
right,
a
that's
good
right,
job.
that's right. All I'm
Maybe there are
saying
other
is they're having a
towns that are,
discussion.
ignoring their water district, but we are doing what we can within budget, over time, putting a little old money away every year.
And besides, we have
Towards capital.
a capital fund,
Yeah.
which we
That's
add
right.
to every year. So, we have about $60,000 in it. And we have 5 pumps going. And-
Sure, absolutely. You have, I've talked to
We've been
the pizza
repairing.
terror, you have a great water system.
Yes, we
But
do.
obviously, and I talked to you about it.
Yes,
It's something that a town's gonna have to discuss at some point. $60,000 is a drop in the bucket. You said $20,000 is just for the engineering to look at the
Right.
water system. You already spent 15,000 tonight, what's it, 15,000 tonight, right? 12,000, it's a 6,000, 8,000, $7,000 tonight, so.
But that's already in our regular budget.
Correct, that's right, yeah.
Is
But I
we're
just
not
think it's something
touching
you
our
have to
ca-
discuss down the road.
Yeah,
as to
we're not
what-
touching our capital fund. It's
Correct.
what we budget for.
Right.
And we're going to eventually raise the price of the water. And it's not going to be much, but, you know, it's going to be a little bit more, and it will help add to it. And as soon as the bills go out, you know, I want to make sure that people know that they didn't get a freebie for the last quarter.
Right.
So.
The phone hasn't rung, so they're not asking for the bills.
Yeah, so, you know, it's working nicely. Is that person gonna speak to us about it?
I think, you know, Pete Sotero talked to me about it last week or the week before, the town engineer. So he just brought it up and said he's on a committee, I think that they're looking at it. I would assume that they're going to come out and talk to us, or you can go talk to them.
Okay, if they're going to come out and talk to us, I'd like to,
Absolutely.
so this way I can have the whole committee.
Sure.
And a lot of people in the water district, I'm sure, would like to attend.
Even if it even happens, I don't know how far they're gonna take it. It was a discussion, that's all I'm telling you, that was a discussion. I was not involved in the discussion, they had a discussion, and there was an email sent.
Okay.
That's it,
Thanks.
which I talked to you about.
Yes, you did.
Right.
I think there needs to be an amendment or something to Marco's contract, because there's nothing in his contract about servicing the meters, which he does, and he goes above and beyond the call of duty. I mean, as far as, and he's been reading all the meters, servicing the meters, and now he's,
Meeting with the committee.
Yeah,
on his
meeting
own
with the
time.
committee,
He's here
and-
tonight, outside of his contract.
right, and he's going to be following up on all those zero reads to see what the problem is with those, and none of that is addressed in his contract.
Well, I don't think we want to address it in this contract, because the price will go up.
Well, the contract is up, your contract is up
It's not
2014.
until the 2014, though.
Right.
I think at that point.
So
you
if he
know,
At that
wants
point, you
to,
have to redo it.
Yeah.
It's gotta be bid anyway,
Yeah,
right?
just, yeah, like I said, I appreciate your time. Again, if you have me listed as your water superintendent, whether that meets your contractual needs or job description, if I am the department head, if I am, which I've always have been in that role for the past 3 years, I would expect any and all changes or notifications, anything that has to do with the water system, water billing, water anything, that's what you would run by me. That's why you hired me. It's always been that way.
I disagree
If it's-
with that, but that's-
If you disagree with it, that's fine, we can have the discussion. If you want the water committee to do it, more power to them. I hope so, that would be wonderful. But if
They're not
you,
empowered to.
if you hinder me from doing my job, from what I'm licensed
Who's
to do.
hindering you to do your job?
I'm asking, if you hinder me from doing my job, if you don't communicate to me, then I can't promise you quality. That's all I'm saying,
Fine.
okay?
I don't
So-
think that's happening at all.
Okay, so who is the department head?
What's that?
Who is the department
They
head?
don't have one.
Don't have one, okay. So
You're a contractor to the town.
Okay, so the past 3 years, like I said, I've been running that department. If I'm a contractor, then I am a contractor, you're absolutely right, Bill. Who would you delegate that responsibility to?
You run the water company, right?
Yeah.
But you're a contractor, you're not a town employee.
I never said I was.
Okay,
So who's the department head?
there is none.
Who's in charge of making all decisions for the water company?
Water Commission,
The water committee?
committee.
Okay.
I would assume that's the way it's been done.
I think this needs a legal
Right.
opinion, because you
Just getting out of
you
control.
cannot empower the commission to make decisions. They make recommendations, and they
Right.
discuss things with the,
Ultimately, the town board makes the final decision.
that's
'cause we
right.
cut the check.
So the committee
Right.
just simply makes the
Correct.
recommendations to the town board, and we
I
make the
think
decision.
the contract has to be redone when it's up in a year. So at that point, it has to be, the
That's-
contract has to be redone and rewritten.
Right.
To make it,
I agree. I agree.
it's not great.
But I just want to know who to go to if I'm not in charge of the water department. Who do I go to? If I go to the water commission and we've been doing, discuss it, if that's what's agreed upon, that's what we'll do. And then we'll present to the board like we've
That's
done
what
all
we,
along.
that's the way it's
Okay.
always been
Who
done.
managed the budget? Who prepared the budget for this year? 2013?
I did.
Okay, so you are managing
think-
the cash flow.
I think we're just having a play on words.
Right.
What we discuss it, we make the recommendations to the town board, you have the last word on it.
Right.
Now, if Marco wants to dig up something and if we have enough money to improve a certain part, he'll discuss it with us, and we'll decide, whether we should or not on his recommendation. If we go ahead and we decide that maybe it's a good idea, then we recommend it to the town board, and you have the last word on it.
That's right.
Whether you want to do it or not.
Right.
And that's the way we've been doing it.
That's fine.
Okay. The only other question I have, as far as the leak we had on Route 44, has everyone been paid who is supposed to be paid for the work on that leak?
No.
Right, I think we're still trying to figure out how we're paying them. That's the issue.
Should be an independent contractor through the water department. He was an independent contractor, hired as an independent contractor, he should be paid through the water department. Be the same thing as
Well,
paying me.
yeah, but I think that the issue is with the,
I have yet
I
to
know
see
they
the
worked on
voucher.
it, the accountant, huh? I know you submitted the voucher. I know they're working with Sherry's working with the accountant as to how we pay the overtime.
That's all been done.
That's been done.
They
The
got
employees have
paid
been
for that.
done.
I think there was
Stanley-
a question about Stanley's bill.
Stanley's
Right, that's
has not
it.
been paid.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I haven't seen the voucher.
The voucher we have, and I know that they're
Well,
trying to figure out.
when will the question be answered
Probably
so
next
he
week.
can get paid?
Yeah, it's a $2,000 bill, right, for the day.
I haven't
I think
seen
it was
it. I don't
2,000.
know. I haven't seen it.
It was a $2,000 bill.
And I wouldn't, and I
So
don't.
he'll be paid next week?
Sure, I think next week we get it straightened
Okay.
around.
So that voucher I should get a copy of and make sure it's accurate then?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
And Laval Road will bid. You know, the Laval Road, I asked Stanley about it. That's a town road. Does he want to bid, do the work? That's a question I asked.
Yeah, I think the highway should do it. It's a
Sure.
highway
It's
job.
a lot easier.
Absolutely. I agree. We can talk about it with Stanley. Again, this is where, who talks about it? You, me?
You do.
Right. Who talks about
You
this?
do.
I do? Okay, so I'll talk to Stanley and see what his thoughts are on it.
I talked to Stanley. I asked if he wanted to do it. I haven't heard a word from him, so.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Building zoning?
Good evening. John Fenton, Town Code Enforcement Officer. The monthly report for March is as follows. We issued 5 building permits. We performed 6 CO searches, 3 fire inspections, and we closed out 4 complaints, with a total of 33 inspections for the month. We also had a total monthly revenue of $1,675, with a year-to-date total of $9,192. I wanted to speak to the board about possibly adding on a website feature to our current site. This feature would allow the public to submit a zoning complaint form online. They would just click on the complaint form icon, which would pull up the complaint form page, and at that point, they would fill out all the information and then just click it to send to my town email. It's a service that BAS would provide, our IT consultants. Mario from BAS basically told me it would cost around $95 to $100 to install that. So that's something I wanted to run past the board.
Is that necessary? I mean, you could add a PDF form like you do for the volunteer form, print it and email it to, I mean,
Yeah.
it's some special little extra feature to
It might be
facilitate
easier.
getting it directly to you? Is that what the idea is? It must be an extra.
The form has some information that is required. I don't know, you're saying maybe just
The
download-
volunteer form or voucher I can print right off of, without any extra effort. It should be 2 seconds for the webmaster to put a PDF online that somebody could print.
Okay.
Or I suppose they want, I'm guessing it's more complicated than, it must immediately go directly to you. It must be a PDF that you can read, write, you can write into it.
Right.
And submit it directly online. I see.
But I'll talk to you about your idea. before
Just
I-
give us a PDF so somebody could print it and download, like the volunteer form, and I can do a voucher online
Okay.
without any cost.
Just a question about that. So you're describing a
Excuse me, please.
online
Let's go.
that would go directly to the building department?
Yes, you would just fill it out online and then send it right directly to my email.
It's a nice idea to do a lot of the forms.
Yeah, but it costs extra just to get that feature so that, well, it's up to you guys if you want to spend $100 to have that added. I guess it's a one-time fee to get that
Right.
link
I'll make a
added.
motion, we spend $100 or whatever to,
I second.
Okay.
Councilwoman Prodi?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Supervisor Flood?
yes.
Motion carries.
All right, lastly, I wanted to speak to you. There was a concerned resident who attended the music concert at our town auditorium 2 weeks ago, and she mentioned to me that the announcer or the MC did not inform the audience of fire exits, and the whole event, for the most part, was routed through the side entrance of the building or to the auditorium. And basically what I'm requesting is the board allow me to put together some type of form that addresses fire safety announcements, aisle clearances, lighting, and so on. Maybe like a sign-off sheet that the person that's running the concert sign off on and agrees to our conditions. And I'm not sure if this is something that I should draft up or maybe Ian, but I think it's a liability on the town's part if we don't protect ourselves with respect to pointing out exits and at least having them sign off on this announcement prior to any public event.
There's usually an emergency evacuation, I guess there is usually attached,
There is.
but we need additional
in the room.
procedures
Right.
that
I think they
would
just
help.
announced it. In fact, I didn't even announce it tonight. So,
Well, that's right. But there's a chart that we
Yeah,
have.
so you-
But I think
they have
there
to
was-
announce it at the public, before the concert is, where the exits are.
Begin.
Right. I wasn't at the event, but I heard that there were also some cones indicating that this is not an entrance. That was to the front entrance of the auditorium, and they could basically think that it might not be an exit also. So if you're consolidating everybody to escape out of one exit, we're going to have some issues.
Well, they can use that door. I don't think
Yes,
there's
you
anything
can.
wrong with it. I
Yeah.
don't think it should be blocked off for any.
It wasn't, I don't think it
Maybe
was
for
being
ticket
used as an
reasons,
Yeah, I
entrance.
think
They
it's ticket
only
reasons, they
Yeah.
did.
allowed it.
But that's just something I want to run past the board. And
I think if you could draft up something simple, do you
Sure.
think we need a lawyer to do
No.
that? If you could just,
Okay.
yeah,
I have something in mind.
give them some ground rules for.
I think they're gonna have another one here shortly.
Yeah. I mean, I have it basically drafted up anyway. I was going to give it to Ian and have him bless it, but,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep,
Any questions?
nope.
No. What about the property maintenance?
The property maintenance, the chapter that has been revised, is that what you're asking?
Yes, you send it to us?
Yeah, I sent it to Ian, and I sent him an email. I was just waiting for a response to see if there should be any changes made to it.
Okay.
Other
So
than
it's
that-
still in draft form?
Well, that's
Or-
final.
Okay, so this is a final, and
That's the
you just
final.
want to get his blessing, and then
Yep.
we're good to go with it?
Yeah,
Okay.
all right? Okay.
Good evening. For the town clerk's report, I'd like to announce that we've collected 88% in our taxes. I was speaking with Patty, and compared to last year, they had collected 89 total, so I guess we're doing pretty good. So I'd like to remind everyone, if you have not sent in your taxes to date, you still have time to do so. And approximately May 15th, we sent out the final reminder notice. And then after May 31st, you'll be paying the county. So if you haven't paid your town taxes, please come on and do so. We are also still at this time selling fishing licenses. So anyone over the age of 16, just a simple reminder, you do need your fishing licenses. And while I'm talking about fishing licenses, we received a mailing from Decals. They're going to be changing the system, how we currently sell our fishing and hunting licenses. So in May or June, there's going to be another class that Patty and I will have to attend, and then we'll be able to, so there's going to be a couple days we can't sell while we revamp the system. I'd like to remind everyone that we are still in a no burn period, and you can start burning again after May 15th. So on May 16th, wake up and you can continue burning your brush. All of the minutes have been circulated. If the town board members, when you get a chance, just to review those so we can get them approved and on the website. We had some ads, and I know we're going to discuss them. So lawn bids, pruning, and painting are all now past due, and we'll discuss later tonight. In regards to the advertisement for the legal counsel for the board, I've received 25 applications from various individuals, 10 of which I've returned to the board tonight. I just need to know how you would like to proceed with that, if we're going to schedule interviews. And April 15th is this Monday, and that was the due date for circulation for those that are interested in the council position and those that are interested in the rec commission. We had 6 letter of interest received to date, and 2 for the council open seat, and 2 for rec commission. So I didn't know if you wanted to schedule those interviews next week, so you can move, if you want to start moving forward with that. I mean, it is Monday, so something after Monday, when, you know, how you guys want to proceed. And we did have a legal notice, which Supervisor Flood already read out loud, so if you do have any comments in regards to the Laval Road, you have until April 26th. I figured if you want to schedule the interviews, then we can do the proper.
I'm going to be away the
So
17th,
it's gotta be
18th, and 19th.
Following week, right?
Okay.
I would think.
I'll be away till the 24th.
To the 24th?
17th to the 24th.
Okay. We could start with some interviews on the 16th, because all of us will be here. Or the
Well, there's
evening
enough.
of the, I don't know, there's enough. 17th to the 24th.
The 15th is Monday?
Monday and Tuesday, the 16th, I guess we could
Yeah,
start.
but Darlene's away until at least this, I think, Monday, correct? So we're gonna have to, when do you leave?
17th?
The 17th. You wanna do some on Tuesday?
We could do Tuesday night, it'd be fine with me. I mean, get a start, and then we have a town board meeting on the 25th. We could start early, maybe, and do a few on the 25th, like from 5 o'clock until 6:30, something like that.
So we have 2 rec,
2 Recreation Commission.
so you wanna do those on Tuesday and get those out of the way?
Yeah.
And then we'll do, how many, we have 6?
There's 6.
You wanna do, can we do them all one night? No.
We could do some on Monday night, unless she's coming home Monday.
I'd rather have her here also. I'd
Yeah.
rather have the full board,
Okay,
right?
so
That
as
makes
many as
sense.
we can on April 16th.
Actually, we can wait on the rec commission.
And get going on the
Yeah.
councilman.
Yeah, I would just wait on the rec commission and do those.
All right, let's do
The
the
end
6
of
of
that
them on
week.
Tuesday, see if we can do them on Tuesday
I think we need to
night.
fill the
So
seat,
do
is the more
Tuesday
important
again?
thing to
Yeah.
do.
Do like
What's
3
that?
and 3? You want to do 3 and 3, or what time do you want to
As
start?
many as you can, starting at 5
5 o'clock.
o'clock.
5 o'clock on Tuesday?
Half-hour intervals?
No, 15 minutes. Should be enough, right?
I think
15?
Good.
Yeah, half hour's long, yeah.
Okay.
15 to 20 minutes. How about,
Yeah.
if you can do
Yeah, how about
20-minute
20?
intervals?
20 minutes.
That's not too complicated.
No.
5 to 5 to 7:30, 8 o'clock, whatever you can get.
Okay. Okay, and I'll contact, and then anyone that cannot make Tuesday,
We'll have to
Then we can do-
reschedule.
We could do right
do
before
you
the
want to do
25th.
before the meeting, then we'll
Yeah.
have a second.
And then we'd be done.
5 p.m., okay.
Maybe.
Okay, so what I'll do tomorrow is I'll send out that announcement,
We're going to start
the
the
special meeting.
special
And just
meeting at
post
what
that
time on the
at executive
25th?
session on Tuesday. Okay,
That's all I have. Thank you.
thank you.
What time are we starting on Thursday, the 25th?
Well, let's say 5 o'clock,
5 o'clock?
but let's, I mean, if a majority of them
Question
are
mark.
gonna
Okay.
comment.
Okay, no, we're not done, we're not there yet.
You're in minute in the agenda.
You're doing the bid on the
Yeah,
on
you
the
want
trees?
to review
No,
the bids?
we'll get to you.
Okay, all right,
You're on my list.
all right.
All right, we have bids for
Paintings.
painting.
It's on the table still.
All right.
And it's the only one that we've received.
All right. Legal notice to bidders. The town of Amenia is now accepting bids for the painting and exterior trim of the town hall. 4988 Route 22, Amenia, New York. All bids must be received by noon on Wednesday, April 10th, 2013. Specifications may be picked up at the town clerk's office Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. 4988 Route 22, Amenia, New York. Dawn Klingner, town clerk. We received one bid from McEnroe Painting, P.O. Box 253, Amenia, New York, with a certificate of insurance, liability, and workers' comp, W-9. Total price is to strip all wood on soffits, door casings, railings, and cupola, strip all with chemical stripper, sand all wood, bleach all wood, repair any rotten wood with wood bondo, one coat of oil primer on all woodwork, fill holes and caulk where needed, 2 coats latex paint on all woodwork, all primer and paint to be applied with brush, no spraying. That's $39,440.
That's for repair and painting.
Yep,
39,000 what?
$440.
We had a bid before for 28,000, but it did not include repairing, as I
Correct.
recall.
Right.
There's wood up there that's gonna need to be
There's
repaired.
stuff up there that we looked at. So I'll make a motion, we accept this bid for $39,440 from McEnroe Painting.
A second?
Councilwoman Perotti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle,
Yes. We have the money in
Yep,
the
in the
Tri-Wall
Tri-Wall,
Fund, and that's
yep.
what we're going to use to do this.
Supervisor Flood,
Yes.
motion carries.
Second one is lawn mowing. Uh, 2013 lawn mowing contract specs. Bid specifications provide all mowing to locations specified to include trimming weeds, tall grass around fences, walls, trees, and buildings. The following parcels will be mowed once a week at 2-inch minimums, 3-inch max. Amenia Library, tennis courts, Amenia Town Hall property, Beekman Park, fields and adjoining lawns, Fountain Square, Wasake Ball Fields, Wasake Memorial Park and Circle, Canning Street, West Side, grass strip between road and sidewalk 4, Town of Amenia signs located Route 44, 22, and 343, 2 Hamlet signs of Wasake located on Furnace Bank Road at County Route 81. The following parcels are to be mowed once every 2 weeks. Mygat Road, Amenia, Bangor Road Cemetery. The following parcels will be mowed twice a season. Walkway near Metro North leading to Wasake Ball Field, ballparks. First one is from Kevin K. Elliott, Land and Landscape, Railroad Avenue, Amenia, New York.
Who was it?
Kenny,
Kenny Elliott
Oh.
for $10,900. Second one is from Mancon LLC, Athletic Field Construction and Maintenance from Yorktown Heights for $7,450.
Mancon, Mancon.
The third one is from Jeffrey Johnson, Lawn Mowing Service, $8,965.
965. Okay, it's called Mancon, LLC.
What's that?
Where's the company from again? The Mancon LLC?
The card says Yorktown Heights.
Hard to believe.
What's that? I've actually seen their trucks here, so
They got insurance and all that?
they will. They have to have.
They have to
Field
put a bid in.
Construction and maintenance. Huh.
Yeah. That's what they do. So
You've heard of them?
I've seen them around. Their truck.
Okay.
They do tennis, baseball, basketball, types of fencing, horse fencing, automatic gates, backstops, tennis court maintenance, tree work, landscaping, sports equipment installations, maintenance, alteration, repairs, service, design, and residential, commercial. Fully licensed, insured, and bonded.
Well, they're the low bid.
They're the low bid, so they gotta go with them, but we just need their total insurance certificates. So I'll make a motion, we award the bid to Mancon LLC from Yorktown Heights, New York, for a price of $7,450.
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Brody?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
And Supervisor Flood?
Yes.
Motion carries.
You'll notify them,
I
Dawn?
will. I'll contact them tomorrow.
Pruning, legal notice, the town of Amenia is now accepting bids for pruning trees in the town of Amenia. All bids must be received by noon Wednesday, April 10th at 2013. Specification will be picked up at the town clerk's office Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., 4988 Route 22, Amenia, New York. Town of Amenia from Benjamin Swartz, Wasatch Community Farm. 31 heirloom crabapple trees, deadwood removed thin from 16 ornamental pears, 4 locust honeys. It's $3,025.
There's another one in there.
Yep. Another one from
Lease trees.
pruning of trees in the center of town, including but not limited to Mechanic Street, Town Hall property, tennis court area, Fountain Square, and small trees along Route 22 and 343. Lee's Tree Service, Albany Post Road, Cold Spring, New York, is $3,000. Lee's Tree Service, I think they have a contract with us anyway, right?
Yeah, that's who Stan uses.
Right. So I'll make a motion, we,
They have an arborist on
yeah,
staff.
they do have an arborist. Talk to them. They've actually cut the trees here already,
Okay.
so I'll make a motion, we award the contract to Lee's Tree Service.
I second.
And that's from the grant, correct?
From the Main Street grant,
Correct.
I think that it
Some of
can
it.
come out of that or not? The Main Street streetscape?
The trees at Fountain Square should come out of that, right? Not all
Not
of it.
Mechanic Street.
Not Mechanic
Oh,
Street. So, right?
I don't know, we can,
Sounds-
we'll check with Aaron. I'll check with Mike and have him call Aaron to see if we
How
can
that
use it
works.
for that.
Okay.
Councilwoman Brody?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
yes.
And Supervisor Flood?
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next one is we need, we do have a grant from the Main Street grant to plant trees on Main Street and at Fountain Square. Are these the bid specs that are gonna go out?
Yeah, I changed it since,
Well, all we need is a motion to send out the specs, the bids, right? That's what we're looking for tonight.
Yeah.
Right.
To advertise the,
Right. So I'll make a motion that we advertise for the purchase and planting of trees on Main Street in Amenia. And where we did walk the streets the other day and marked them where we're gonna put them.
Using funds from the Main Street grant.
Using funds from the Main Street grant, which has been approved and that's done. So what we need is just your bid specs, and you'll send them out by next week?
If we send them out tomorrow, they can be in next week's.
We're gonna do it tomorrow. Can you have it ready by tomorrow? Okay,
yeah,
All
all
right,
right.
I'll do the best.
And then,
How long do you want it to go out for?
a week?
advertise. Let's see what happens for a week. I mean, it could go to these trees.
can't load it from there.
Okay.
You know the tree count and what you're looking for?
I'll send you an electronic copy, because just in case you guys want to discuss it. Yeah, we got types of trees too.
Okay.
Do you want,
24.
do you want this entire thing put in, or do you want something similar to what I did for all the
Similar to what
others?
you're doing, right. And
Okay.
then they can pick up the bid
Because then I
specs,
can do-
right.
yes, okay.
So it keeps the
So
cost
if I
down.
put it out tomorrow, the earliest I can have it is to advertise in the April 18th edition. And
It's a
then,
militant paper?
that's the Millerton paper only. But your May meeting is May 9th, so I can have them where they're due May 8th. That'll give a little
Sure.
bit of time.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
May 9.
We'll do May 8th at noon, like I did the others. Okay, so there was a motion
And it was seconded.
by,
Oh, no, I'll second it. That was the,
okay. Councilwoman Perotti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle,
yes.
and Supervisor Flood.
Yes.
Okay, so that'll go out.
Okay, amendment to agreement between town and Weavertuck School District. Amendment to agreement between the Board of Education and the Weavertuck School District and the town of Amenia. Whereas the Weavertuck School District, hereafter district, is a municipal corporation subject to the rules and regulations of the state of New York, state education law, and whereas the town of Amenia, hereon, the town is a municipal corporation serving many of the same residents of the district, and whereas by the deed dated September 2nd, 2010, and recorded in the office of clerk of the Dutchess County on September 13th, 2010, the district transferred the property which serves as the present town hall, and during the time the property was owned by the district was known as the Amenia Elementary School, located at 4988 Route 22 in the town of Amenia, in the town to the town with the right of reverter Amenia property, and whereas by separate agreement dated on or about August 10th agreement, the town provided the district with the right to use up to 3 rooms located in the building on the Amenia property for the purpose of administration offices and our storage space. The reserves room subject to terms and conditions contained in the agreement, and whereas Exhibit A of the agreement identified 3 rooms within the building on the Amenia property, the district and town preliminary identified as reserved rooms, and whereas paragraph 2 of the agreement contains a provision whereby whether either party can request a revision to the reserved room designations identified in Exhibit A, and whereas the town now wishes to revise the reserved room designations contained in Exhibit A of the agreement, and whereas the town and district agreed that the reserved room designations contained in Exhibit A shall be revised, so the district shall no longer have the right to use up to the 3 rooms designated on the 2nd floor of the building on the Amenia property, and the reserved room shall consist solely of 2 rooms in the basement or the ground floor of the building of the Amenia property. 1 room is being known as the art room of the Amenia property, was the Amenia Elementary School, and the other being the former coal storage area of the basement. And whereas the town and district wish to further amend the agreement to remove paragraph 4 so that the district shall no longer be required to mow the lawns of the Amenia property for the town as needed. And whereas the parties wish to enter in a written agreement to the amendment to the agreement relative to such terms and conditions. Therefore, the parties agree as follows. 1, the reserved room designations contained in Exhibit A of the agreement are hereby revised to eliminate the 3 rooms designated on the second floor of the building on the Amenia property, and substituting, therefore, as reserved rooms, the 2 rooms in the basement of the building of the Amenia property, 1 room being the room known as the art room when the Amenia property was the Amenia Elementary School, and other being the former coal storage area of the basement. A revised Exhibit A showing the revised reserved rooms is attached here too. The town shall clean, install new flooring, and freshly painted the revised reserved rooms. 3, paragraph 4, the agreement is hereby removed, and the district shall no longer be required to mow the lawns of the Amenia property for the town. It is agreed by the parties that the town shall provide telephone and computer service to the revised reserved rooms for the district's use at no charge to the district. All other terms of the agreement shall remain in full force and effect. William McGee, Board President. All the work has been done, and the district has been here and signed off. The Board of Education was here, so they're happy with the room.
Where's the boiler currently? So, I see the stairs. So the art
The
room.
coal room?
Back here.
But are these X's where they're going to be inhabiting?
Correct.
So this should be where they are. That's the coal storage area.
The
I mean,
coal
unless I'm
storage
wrong.
area is in back of the boiler.
Yeah, it's in back of the boilers. It should be back here.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is they marked
Yeah,
it
it's
wrong.
wrong. So it's spelled out in the contract, though. I'll make a motion to accept this contract.
I would accept it, given the fact that the addendum is erroneously, it looks like it's where the boiler room is, where the boilers are, rather than the coal storage area. And we have put a new floor in there?
Yep,
And
it's all
freshly
done.
painted it. All
And it's been painted.
Yep. Cleaned.
Has the door been replaced?
Yep.
'Cause that
Both
was-
doors.
'cause that wasn't in very good shape.
Right. The interior door, the entrance door, and the exterior door was replaced. The window was fixed. That was boarded up, that was broken, so that's been fixed.
Councilwoman Prody,
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle,
right. Yes.
and Supervisor Flood.
Yes.
Motion carries. You have, before you have a resolution that goes with this? Do you have that? There was a resolution,
Okay, resolution number
18.
18 of 2013, resolution authorizing amendment to agreement with the Weebatuck School District at a meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Amenia held at the Amenia Town Hall on the 11th day of April 2013, 7 p.m. William Flood, supervisor,
I'll second
seconded
it.
by, moved the resolution, the following resolution to wit, whereas on June 17, 2010, the town board adopted a resolution accepting the offer of the school board, Weebatuck Central School District, the district to transfer title to the 6.5 acre parcel of real estate located at 4988 Route 22 in the town of Amenia, which previously served as the Amenia Elementary School and currently serves as the town of Amenia Town Hall property, to the town of Amenia for $1, whereas the June 17th resolution was subject to permissive referendum and took effect following lawful publication of June 17th resolution and permissive referendum notice and the subsequent expiration of the allowed time for filing of legally sufficient petitions seeking permissive referendums, and whereas as part of the transfer of title to the property of the town, the district reserved the right to use up to 3 rooms for the purpose of administrative offices and/or storage space, reserved rooms in the Amenia Town Hall. And whereas in exchange for the reservation of the right to use the reserved rooms, the district agreed to continue mowing the lawns on the property. And whereas the terms and conditions of the proposed agreement regarding the reserved rooms were memorialized in the written agreement executed by the town and district in August 2010. Whereas Agreement A of the agreement identified the 3 rooms within the town hall building on the property in the district and the town preliminarily identified as reserved rooms. And whereas the paragraph 2 of the agreement contains a provision whereby either party can request a revision to the reserved room designations identified in Exhibit A, and whereas the town and the district have agreed that the reserved room designations contained in Exhibit A of the agreement shall be revised so that this district no longer has the right to use up to the 3 rooms designated on the 2nd floor of the town hall building on the property, and the reserved room shall instead solely consist of the 2 rooms in the basement of the ground floor of the town hall building and on the property. 1 room is being the room known as the art room when the property was the Amenia Elementary School, and the other being the former coal storage area of the basement. Whereas the town has agreed to furnish the 2 rooms in the basement of the town hall building with telephone computer service and provide fresh paint and new flooring. And whereas the town and the district wish to further amend the agreement to remove paragraph 4 so the district shall no longer be required to mow the lawns of the property for the town. And whereas the town and the district have agreed to enter into a written amendment to the agreement according to the terms contained in the form attached hereto, amendment to the agreement, and there, whereas the approval and execution of the amendment of the agreement is a type 2 action under the New York State, no wonder these lawyers make so much money, Environmental Quality Review Act, seeker, and is therefore not subject to the environmental review, and now therefore it be resolved that the town board hereby approves the amendment to the agreement in form here attached hereto, and authorizes the town supervisor to sign the amendment to the agreement on behalf of the town. It is further resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the town supervisor to sign any additional documents that may be necessary to effectuate the amendment of the agreement and to take such administrative and ministerial action as may be necessary to effectuate the terms of this resolution. The foregoing resolution was voted upon with all councilmen and councilwomen voting as follows.
Supervisor Flood?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
And Councilwoman Perotti?
Yes.
So the building's ours.
Yay. Now, will they have their own key to the back door, or
Nope,
how will they
they're only
get
gonna be
the...
here as normal working hours, from what I understand.
They will not have a separate access.
No.
Okay.
If they use it.
Right. And is that coal storage area theoretically for storage of documents, or they're not going to inhabit that space?
No, just storage.
Okay.
If they need it.
No, it's understandable.
Right.
Yeah.
Just so we have 2 originals, we
Yeah.
can have one and then
That's a good
we'll
idea.
sign one with them.
The next thing is, we have a request from the new building, dog warden to attend a conference in Albany for 2 days.
We don't have a line for
No.
that.
So I crossed it
needs
off
to-
here, so at this point, I think we're gonna hold off on this, if that's okay with everybody.
If it's required, I'd think
I don't think
about
it's
it. If
required.
it's not required, he needs to come to the
Right,
budget meetings and we'll hash it out then.
right.
What's going on with the contract with Dover?
I sent an email to the town supervisor, Ryan, Haven't heard a
Ryan
word back
Cordian.
from him. So at this point, we're gonna draft, a, contract with him, and I'll send it to him probably tomorrow. And we'll see what we can do, get that done.
So we'll get a copy of it so we can see it?
Yep. Yep. I did meet today with Jonathan Harkness, with the heating and air conditioning project that we have here. There's a couple things. They found a boiler that's in a hospital in New York that we can have for free. We just have to get the thing up here. That's one proposal.
It works?
Yep.
And how old is it?
It's about 15 years old, I think he said. What I've asked him to do is write a proposal of what he's got. In order to put the heating and air conditioning system in here, he's saying it's somewhere around $685,000 to put the geothermal heating and air conditioning system in this building.
$685,000.
Correct. What I've asked him to do is to make a proposal to the board for the next meeting, or he said he'd have it next week, and I'll send it to you as soon as I get it, as to what he feels the specs would have to be. I think what he's proposed to do is to oversee the project, and then we would bid out the different sections of what has to be done as far as the equipment and so on and so forth. But that proposal has to be approved by the board and seen by the board.
How long would that take?
To get that?
Yeah, to get it from
He
start
said
to
he'd have it-
finish. No, to get the
whole
project.
project?
Yeah.
6 months. The 6 to 8 months.
So he's going to theoretically be recommending a used boiler be
From what the boiler would be used as a backup. Correct.
system only,
Correct.
and the geothermal would be the primary.
Primary heat.
I see.
Correct. With the solar panels on the roof that he would do on his cost, his dime. You buy the electric through his company at a reduced rate.
He does that?
Yes.
In other words, we're renting.
You buy them because we can't get the tax credits.
Oh.
You buy them from the third party
Oh,
would
right,
install
right.
them.
Yeah.
They get the tax credits. You buy the electric from the third party. That has to be totally explained to the board and to the public as we go through this process.
Right, but that is a working
Correct.
thing that works for other people.
That's right.
It's third party.
That's something a municipality can do?
Yes.
Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening all over. He also said that the 2 boilers, he's going to have a company from New Jersey that he works with that deals in junk, basically.
Mm-hmm.
What it would cost. They would take those boilers and pay us for the junk.
Well, they're not going to do it for free. How much are they charging?
That's what we have to do. I have no idea.
Well, we need to,
That's what I said.
that's
So
something.
2 would be junk.
Actually, we'd have
One-
to bid that out anyway. We couldn't just gonna give it to
Sure.
one company.
No way.
No,
But get
he's,
an idea what it's going to cost, Victoria.
Yeah.
Don't have a stroke yet. It's just
That
an
wasn't
idea what it is.
necessary.
That's what I've asked him to propose. So he'll have that together. The other matters is, Mary sent you all an email. The town has been approached by Audrey Brooks, who along with her business partner Bernadette owns the Curves Fitness Center on Mechanic Street. Unfortunately, the gym will be closing sometime early to mid-May. Audrey came here to see if the town board would be interested in buying the equipment, as several of the members are from here in Amenia, mostly seniors, and voiced a hope that they would still have some place to go to exercise. If you're not acquainted with Curves, there's a low-impact cardio circuit of machines, non-electric and recovery boards that work each area of the woman's body to obtain better physical health. There are 18 pieces of equipment and 12 recovery boards that are utilized. When the equipment is bought, each new piece ranges from $8,800 to $1,100. They are offering everyone to the town for $500. I spoke to Byron Barnes to see if there would be any insurance issues, and both he and Lori Noonan from NYMAR have said it would be fine for the town to have the equipment and to offer this to the use of the ladies in the Amenia as long as they have signed a waiver or the doctor signed, and that there is a sign in and out sheet in the building. These women use curves twofold. One is exercise program, two is social outlet to be with friends and have connections. Audrey was approached by concerned members that they would lose both. The program is designated by and meant for women. I think it would be a great idea for the town to offer this continued avenue for the women, especially for the older women who may not be as likely to walk or ride bike alone on a road or trail. The hours that could be available could mirror the hours of the building that are posted on the door. These women are currently paying a monthly fee, but Byron said the town couldn't charge them. If we did, it would be put down as a business owner, and so being able to offer this free of charge to women of the town might help them to get out and exercise, and then perhaps spending the extra money each month in the membership wasn't an option they could afford personally. I think it's a win-win for everyone. I sent you separately a copy email from Byron Barnes and Lori Noonan in regards to Mary. I did get an email from Darlene. I think she CC'd everybody that
Yep.
she wants to discuss it.
Yep.
So, I don't know.
Is there a time we have to
I
make
think
a
it has,
decision by?
I think it has to happen fairly quick.
Let's see, it's closing in
May?
mid-May, so it's.
So we have
less than a
time.
month,
Yeah.
but- A month.
Now, have we checked with John Fenton, if there's any building issues?
No.
Maybe we can wait till Darlene's here.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
I think it's an excellent idea, but I would open it up to everybody to use the machines unless there's a physical reason why men can't use the machines. You've used it, right? The
Yes.
curve system?
Mhm. Yes, I have.
And so the equipment is in good shape and you,
I haven't been there for a while.
okay.
I don't have a membership right now.
I think if
The
it's in
question I
excellent
have is that
shape, we should
if the equipment wears out and so on and so forth, what do we do? How do you get other equipment? Do we get to that
get
point?
rid of it. And then we decide if we want to, I don't know. Maybe, ideally, you'd have a private
Correct.
operator rent the rooms from us. And, isn't that what we originally had hoped for?
Correct.
But something's better than nothing.
Well, who looks at the equipment and decides whether it's
Safe?
safe?
That's the question. That was my next question.
Yeah. I guess we'd have to have somebody evaluate it.
There's a company that we use at the state to evaluate some equipment. I don't know if they do it or not, PW Newkirk.
I think we could probably
Find
talk to,
out.
we could talk to Curves, maybe.
And review.
Yes, we could see who they
If
have to.
they may
Curves
have
must
a,
have somebody.
yeah. Or a certificate or something that they provide to their insurance company. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's a question we'll have to
Yeah,
ask.
yeah.
Thank you for your suggestion, by the way, but let's see where we are. Okay. Do you want to read the one for the next one?
Fire company?
Yeah. I'm losing my
Fire
book.
Carnival, or which one we
Either
doing?
one, the agreement we did, the carnival, right? Open container law and the constables.
Well, which one are you doing?
Amenia Fireman's Carnival road closure. You got all of it in one? Road
There's
closure?
there's actually two.
There's two.
Because one you have to authorize the constables,
Right.
and then the other one's the road closure and rescind.
Pick one.
Oh, I'll do both.
Okay. That's fine with me. I'm losing my voice here.
Resolution number?
19.
Amenia Firemen's Carnival. Whereas the Amenia Fire Company has scheduled its annual Firemen's Carnival for July 3rd, 2013 through July 6th, 2013. Whereas the Amenia Fire Company has requested that the town board rescind the Oprah container law and grant authority to the fire company to close Mechanic Street and appropriate town roads for the duration of the parade on July 5th, 2013. Whereas the Amenia Fire Company has requested that the town board authorize the hiring of constables as needed for the parade and/or carnival. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Amenia hereby rescinds the Oprah container law for the carnival area and approves the grant of authority to the fire department for the appropriate road closures, in addition to authorizing the hiring of constables as needed for the parade and/or the carnival. Be it resolved that this resolution shall become effective immediately. I make that motion.
I'll second it.
Supervisor Flood?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brody?
Yes.
Councilman Doyle?
Yes.
Resolution 20.
Yes.
Whereas the town of Amenia has adopted local law number 3 of 2007 establishing the powers and duties of the town constables, whereas section 10(7) of that law authorizes the town board to adopt a resolution granting special duties to the town constables upon a determination that assignment of those special duties is appropriate, and that it is consistent with the scope of the town constable's powers and duties as peace officers, whereas the annual Amenia Firemen's Carnival is scheduled to be conducted in the town of Amenia from July 3rd, 2013 through July 6, 2013, and whereas the town board concludes it would be in the best interest of the town of Amenia and of public health and welfare for the town constables to assist in parking and traffic control for this event, and to generally patrol the carnival and parade grounds and surrounding area during the event. Whereas the Amenia Fire Company has agreed to reimburse the town for the costs associated with the town constables providing these services. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby grants the town constables the special duties enumerated in sections 10(7) C, D, E, F, and G of the Town of Amenia Town Code during the Amenia Firemen's Carnival from July 3rd, 2013 through July 6, 2016, including the period of time prior to and after the event necessary to patrol the area for safety and to assist in controlling and directing the traffic, the parking and traffic generated by the event, and be it further resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the town constables to carry a firearm as authorized by section 10(6) of the Town of Amenia Town Code while performing the special duties identified in this resolution. Is further resolved that the Amenia Fire Company shall pay for the costs associated with the town constables providing the services identified in this resolution. The foregoing resolution was voted upon with all councilmen voting as follows. I make that motion.
I'll second it.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brody?
Yes.
And Supervisor Flood?
Yes.
Motion carries.
I have a question. The firemen are having the convention, is that next year?
Next year,
Next year.
2014.
I've talked to Chucky Mayville and some other firemen about using this field for the convention. That would open it up to a much bigger area. So that's something the board, I would bring to the board at the next meeting. So I would offer to the fire department if they want to have their convention on this property here. It would make it much easier, I believe. And I've also talked to the DEC. We got a verbal permission Friday from, obviously by the tennis court, there's a culvert that drains this field that's plugged.
Mm-hmm.
They gave us a verbal okay to open that drain. So I'm going to talk to Stanley tomorrow and have him see if he can come in with a little machine and open that thing up so we can get the water flowing out of here. I've also had a conversation with Ed Hoxie from the Farm Soil and Water. I think Mary's trying to make an appointment with him next week so we can come out here and see if we can drain this field again and open it up and get the water moving so we can dry this out a little bit and see if we can
Make it more useful.
make it more useful.
So what would the firemen's convention use that field for?
I think just for the day after the parade, right? They have a big, do they have a
The
carnival?
carnival.
Right.
Oh,
I don't know the specifics as to what he spoke to the company president about, but usually the carnival has rides and booths and food booths and.
So I just offered it to the, you know, that's a discussion, I didn't, it's a thought for the board. I would think it'd make a bigger spot and more easier for the fire department to operate. But that's something we can discuss. It's not till next year, but.
Yeah.
The
Make-
difference in the two, what you're gonna see this year, it's all usually the local companies that come and march in the parade.
Convention's a big deal.
The convention is everyone in the county, and a lot more of our surrounding areas will come. Many will travel a greater distance for a county convention. It's usually the highlight of all the parades. So it's a big deal.
Well, that's a big honor.
Now,
It's a
what
big
is the
deal.
date?
It'll be 2014, so
I
we
know,
usually
but
have the
what
first
part
week
of
of
the-
December, July,
Of
same
July?
week that we have here,
July 3rd through the
Right.
6th.
Okay.
whatever that Wednesday through Saturday is.
But it's a big deal.
That's great.
It's a big deal to have it here. And I don't think, have they ever had a convention here? I don't think,
I do not know, and Virgil's gone, so
I don't know that.
I don't know that for a
Yeah, I
fact.
think we should open up whatever
Sure.
property
good.
and
You okay with
facilities
that?
we have.
Sure.
Supervisor's report. I just, a couple things. The constables did a great job. You know, the last week we had the, when was it, concert, last week?
30th.
The 30th, we had the auction, we had the Easter egg hunt, right? We had the concert. So we had probably somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 people within the town, in the village that day. They covered it all day long, so they did a great job. And everybody did.
How many were on?
All four worked,
All
two
four
worked
worked.
the morning and two worked the
Right.
evening.
That's great.
And we had no trouble.
parking was not an issue?
Nope, we had no issues.
Unbelievable.
So at this point, they got them in, they got them out. The auction was a big deal. Obviously, there's a few, no complaints, but there are a few parking spaces that were taken, some of the commercial ones, so that's obviously always a problem. But considering what they did, I know my brother said they had over 1,000 people here for the auction.
I
So
know
it's a
Chris
big
was
deal.
hoping to make a report,
Yeah.
and just on the
Yeah.
parking with the music. I know that the gentleman had to go down and do parking, so if the concern was to have them in the building to monitor the alcohol.
Mhm.
So if maybe to have an additional one, maybe one do the parking or split them up. Usually the guys would do the patrols in twos, the same way they do the carnival. So that's something to consider as the future events come up.
So we
He
only
was
had
gonna s-
one?
There were two,
There were
but they
two.
both had to go down and do traffic, because as everyone came in, they were down there doing traffic. And
We'll have
they-
to buy them earmuffs also.
And then they called, because they called Chris, and Chris came over real quick. You know,
Okay.
just because there was a little uncertainty where they were supposed to be at what point, so, you know, just to consider that, you know, for future, when we're gonna fill up that parking lot. I know Chris had talked about getting some cones to really put where the parking should be, because there was no true direction, and it was a little dark, you know, as but then, I mean, parking, there was no issues, they did great, it was fine, just
The
maybe
one
having
light's
more
not working on it.
manpower. Yeah, there's a light not out.
It's not, so I gotta call, I guess that's our light, I don't know.
One in the parking lot?
The new
There's
light?
two big lights. See that one? To the left, there's
One's
another one
out.
to the right that
Like a
doesn't
street
work.
light.
It's not a
That-
street light. It's a big light that, there's two lights
We
that,
had NICEAG
That's
come out
ours.
and they installed those when we first moved here. They
Huh.
came in and they put them in because they're on our meters.
so they
so
must be
maybe-
street lights, maybe. They
And
put
it
the
was,
bulbs.
they're specialty lights, so calling NICEAG, probably have that guy's email still.
I think, well, we're working on some other, with the ballpark in Wasaik, and then they're gonna install some more streetlights on 343. So Mary's got his number. I can have Mary
That
get,
back corner still is dark now that we're really starting to use it, so if,
well, yeah, the other light's not working, so it should cross like that. Hopefully that we can do. We were, Mike Hager and I had met with with the Berkshire Taconic and the Hudson River Housing Authority. They have this is a press release that's going out to the town and village officials, planning, zoning members, volunteers, and housing master and comprehensive plan committees and interested citizens in the towns of, and villages of Amenia, Dover, Pine Plains, Northeast, Milan, Millbrook, Millerton, Stanford, and Washington. Recognizing the strong commitment of public servants and community volunteers, Hudson River Housing and Housing Us, an initiative of Berkshire Taconic Community Foundation, has organized a series of spring workshops looking at population growth and economic development issues in the northeastern portion of Dutchess County. They are geared especially for local officials, volunteers, board members, and residents of the 9 towns and villages. 2 hours of credit for each workshop will be awarded to members of the municipal planning and zoning board members. The first workshop scheduled for April 23rd is entitled Housing Dutchess, Building a 21st Century Housing Stock. Presenters Ann Sandler of the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development, and Joseph Sujaka of Mid-Hudson Patterson for Progress will document population and development trends in northeastern Dutchess County while providing a glimpse of the future opportunities to address the most pressing local, including housing, employment, transportation, and community development. The second session is scheduled for May 21st and will focus on the issues of sustainability, economic development, housing with regard to master plan updates and zoning revisions. The third seminar on June 18th will focus on funding opportunities for rural areas. 2 credit hours will be awarded to planning and zoning members for attending each workshop. In addition, June 8th we'll be offering a short course by Pace University Land Use Law Center on sustainable development. All workshops will take place at the Amenia Town Hall on Route 22 from 7 to 9 p.m. Please register with Mike Haggerty at haggerty@housingus.org. Workshop coordinator, if you are interested in attending, attending so we can provide sufficient handouts and refreshments and spread the word to other interested residents. For further information, contact Mike or Mary Ling at hudsonriverhousing.org or Sam Bucell at gmail.org. This is a big deal with the Berkshire Taconic. They've also opened it up to Massachusetts and Connecticut also.
Wow.
They will be here. So we had offered the town hall months ago, so they put the program together, and they'll be using the auditorium in the town hall on these dates. So it's a big deal for us to get this running.
What room are they using?
The auditorium
Okay. So April 23rd is the first one?
is the first one.
At what
Yep.
time?
7 o'clock.
Okay.
I sent an email to Sam regarding because we had this conversation regarding the building use form. He had never replied back,
Oh.
so should,
Give it to me in the morning and we'll fill it out for you.
Oh, okay.
All right? We'll just do it that way. That's all I've got. You got some stuff?
I have recreation.
Yep.
Went to the Recreation Commission meeting. There's going to be a cleanup day at Beekman Park on Saturday, April 13th, at the at Beekman Park, Amenia Ball Field. Bring rake, shovel, broom, gloves. They're going to pick up garbage and make the field look nice so that Amenia can be proud of its ball fields. Also discussed at the Recreation Commission meeting, we've had a lot of arts and crafts donated to our summer recreation program from Joy Cole Johnson, who's with the organization Northeastern Expansion Development Corporation. It's a lot of different stickers and a lot of things that they can use for arts and crafts. The Recreation Commission will be sending her a thank you. One of the things she'd also like to do in the fall is she does backpacks with school supplies to needy children. So that's another project that she'll be doing in the fall. We're having cheer gymnastic program here for the cheerleadings. They're actually doing a cheerleading gymnastic program. It'll be here Thursdays, April 25th through June 27th for 10 weeks in the Amenia Town Hall Gym. It's $100 a student. There's class size 12 students, but there's 2 classes, and the instructor is Brandon Johnson. This program is designed to work with existing cheerleading program. Gymnastic is an essential part of the competitive cheerleading Students will work through the different levels according to their skill completion. Conditioning and stretching are part of the learning process and help to avoid injuries and develop the necessary muscle memory for each gymnastic skill. We've had some new programs that have been approved by the Recreation Commission. One of them is a knit and spin class that's in the auditorium from 10 to 12 on the first Saturday for anybody who's interested in spinning and knitting. And there's also someone, her name is Pat Smalley, who's interested in offering a free safe boating class for kids 4 through 10. It's through the United States Power Squadrons, which is promoting safe boating on the water and in the classroom. She's looking to do that on Sundays in April and May. It would be from 1 to 5, and it's part of America's boating course. Okay, we're going to have a very exciting opening day on April 27th, rain or shine. There will be picture taking. There's going to be a little parade for opening day for the Amenia Farm League, and all of the baseball and softball teams have been invited, including the Monarchs. So it's supposed to be a very exciting time. The other issue that came up was for Little League, they're looking to buy a pitching machine, and they got, per the procurement policy, 3 bids. And I think I gave them to everybody.
This is the one, right, 1,300?
No, I think it's $599. Well, one of them was $1,300. The least expensive is $599. I don't know where the,
Is that the same machine?
yeah.
Really?
Because Dick's, since we have an account with Dick's, they gave us a special price, which is the $599.99 compared to $13.99. And I'm not sure how much the other one was. Both of them are $1,300. Both of the other quotes.
Yeah, 599. You want to make that motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion
Jugs, PS50.
for the Jugs PS50 Perfect Strike pitching machine to be purchased for Amenia's Little League at the price of $599.99.
I'll second that.
And I'll get the PO.
Councilwoman Perotti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Supervisor Clyde?
Yes.
And that's pretty much it for recreation.
And I talked to Mary today. I think she's got most of the list done that Christine Ford gave her for the background checks.
Yeah, I think they're pretty much complete.
She's pretty well done with that. So we're in good shape with that. And then I think there's applications coming in for summer rec employees.
That Post-its put on there because we've had 2 people come in asking for the applications, but I haven't advertised for that position yet. So there's the question, and we wanted to have a conversation because we're not aware of the ad going out, so we're not sure if we should be handing these out or not handing those out. I called Christine. She says it was not discussed at the rec commission meeting, and she was unaware of it. I had a very upset parent because she was told that they were due on Monday the 15th, and she just found out this week, and she came in.
Well, I think maybe she's confused with the other ad in the paper.
Very possible. I told
When
her.
do you normally put them in?
You have to, Kathleen Kelly knows what all she needs for, you get it from her. You know, she.
When do they normally start, do you know?
They would start in
Well,
June. She has to start the process of training them, and yeah.
So they gotta go out
I
soon.
mean, they have to go, but I didn't know if I was supposed to be giving an ad out saying that we're looking for employment, or are we not doing that?
I'll call Kathleen tomorrow and I'll call you.
Okay. So if I am supposed to, do you want to just authorize me to place
Sure.
that ad?
Because she knows how many she needs according to how many kids, you have to have a ratio.
No, I know, I had a,
See if they got, some of them have lifeguard and all that for students.
Okay, so if
Yeah,
that
just
ad needs to
basically
go
just
out-
call Kathleen and
But I'll
verify
make
it
a
with
motion,
her.
we authorize the town clerk to advertise for summer recreation employees
As needed.
as needed, when needed
Awesome.
by.
All right, so I'll speak to her, so it won't be next week's ad, it'll be when I talk to her.
I'll second that motion.
Councilwoman Brody,
Yes.
Councilman Doyle,
Yes.
and Supervisor Flood.
Yes. What do you have, Vicki?
So, about the fund that we were going to start for depositing funds from private donors who were willing to support townwide projects. Andrea is home and not available for
Correct,
that,
and her-
but her person is Kevin Quilty, who's in charge of,
Correct, and then there's
Yes.
another lady that is in charge of us, who is on was on vacation.
oh,
So she's due back, I think, Tuesday. So what I was gonna do is have, as soon as they're back, you and I, or whatever board members wanna go, we would meet with them in Poughkeepsie so we can get this done.
I think that it's very complex. Since we last spoke to them, they have now instituted, and hopefully we can waive it, a $2,400 fee to start a fund with
I
their
didn't know that.
organization. So Kevin is talking to Andrea at home to see if we can waive that,
Okay.
since we have the paperwork, but we never completed it. As far as I know, the lawyer was looking over the agreement form, but I don't know what he decided. I mean, the reality, it's, you know, what we have to do is provide an application for the fiscal sponsorship, a signed agreement, signed fund agreement, a narrative for the charitable project. With
We do that,
S
or
on the
the- or
back.
the
We would
directors?
do that. We would do that. I guess, or maybe this
No,
would
I
be
don't-
the
I-
group of
the
people
group
who
of
put
people
this
that do that.
together.
Yep. I don't think the town can do it.
So for every single project, there's quite a long list of things, and not to mention all the things they won't fund and will fund, and, you know, it's quite complicated. In the absence of having a fund to deposit checks, there are apparently some proceeds, or a donor, several donors who are interested in donating to the Amenia Hall project. Should they write the check to the town of Amenia
Correct, I spoke to her yesterday.
and put them in the memo line that
Correct,
they're
I
going towards the
talked to
auditorium?
Sherry today, that
Okay,
if the donations come in, that they will be set aside for the auditorium.
okay. She'll set up a separate fund, and the money will go for that. What we
Yep.
can't do is provide a tax.
Well, you can get a tax deduction, but it's not, it's up to the IRS.
I thought Ian was saying that we wouldn't provide tax.
You can donate to the
Acknowledgements.
town, but
And
we
it's up
can't.
to them
It's up to the
to-
donor to get their own tax deduction.
To decide.
Right.
But we cannot provide any,
No, and I told her that,
okay. So I think that'll work just fine for now.
right.
And then,
But I think also to back up to this heating and air conditioning thing, if we do this, then we can start a fund drive. I think at some point, we're gonna have to start some fund drives to come up with some money to
geothermal.
do this system. You know, some kind of a fundraising thing to either do the building or do the work in the building or stuff like that. So I don't know if that's a discussion the board, we should probably have at some point to start raising some money.
Yeah, the time is,
Time is here.
yeah. Okay.
You know, we have to borrow some money, but the problem is, you know, between the garage, the town garage, we have no issue with. It's this building, and then we have the landfill that's coming down the road that we're gonna have to pay for, so.
Now, did John Harkness complete his report?
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting, we have to get it done, his report.
Because we haven't seen it yet.
Correct.
So it sounds like he's developing his recommendations based upon what he's finding for available.
Correct, they've been here, you know, unfortunately, he's been very busy because of the hurricane in New York. That's, you know, most of these hospitals like yours and these commercial
Needed
buildings
to be
need to be redone.
Okay.
So they're doing new heating systems and so on and so forth in these buildings, and that's where he's been busy. You know, he's doing this basically for nothing. So, obviously, if what he comes up and the recommendations that he comes up with, he's obviously gonna have to meet with the board and discuss what our options.
So we absolutely have to deal with that and
Sure.
find out how we're gonna pay for it and how all of this stuff is gonna
Well,
dovetail.
we have to wait to see his report first. We haven't seen that yet.
And
Well, we have to install a heating system no matter what we do.
yeah,
The two boilers, one is down, and the other one is limp through the winter. The insurance company will not,
no, I know, something has to
we
change.
can't certify it. They won't certify it, so we have no choice. One way or another, we have to put a heating system in here.
Right.
So that's where we're at.
Where are we with the highway garage? Is that,
I think we're waiting for Darlene.
Waiting for Darlene and John to get together to
Do the
come up with the specs.
okay,
She hasn't done that yet.
okay. And then I'm all for lots of use of the building. I think that's a very good thing. We're having to heat it and maintain it and all. But I would just, from personal experience, just caution that we do need, I would feel more comfortable if we had insurance on the person who's coming to do the gymnastics. I've taught gymnastics for years. Kids sprain their arms, they get fractures. It's just a reality with gymnastics. But
I believe the way the insurance works, the parents are responsible. It would go through their insurance if they were injured doing their gymnastics, the way Byron explained it to me.
okay, so my understanding from Byron is that if the money is collected through the town and the town manages the program, say the way we do the dance program or the ball field programs, then that is a town activity and the town's insurance is adequate. But if it's a program that's run and the money is collected by the individual and they sub-hire and contract other people, then that would be an outside contractor who would then need to provide a certificate of insurance. So it seems like we're getting into gray area, and I just think that if we can figure out a blanket policy that works for our insurance, for covering the town, taxpayers, protecting them.
That's for this one that's run by the Stossel, I think? Or
Yes,
another one?
yes.
I think we have, the cheerleaders are not running the money through the town, to my knowledge.
Right.
And the Peter Cascone was not running the money through the town,
But he had insurance.
but he had his own insurance.
Right.
So I would just suggest that we follow
Okay.
map out what's needed. Byron seems to have a good sense of when we need to have insurance provided and when it isn't. But I would say one thing, April 25th is coming up soon.
Yeah, I'll call him.
It would be helpful to get his opinion on that, or verify that I'm recalling it correctly. That's all I have.
That's it.
Ah, the county legislature.
Oh, Mike, I forgot.
Since you talked about the fire department, that's a
Hold
good
on.
thing.
Oh, Mike.
Volunteer New York, April 28th, 2013, open house and opportunity to learn more about the volunteer fire service in your community and volunteer. The Amenia Firehouse is open from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 36 Mechanic Street in Amenia on the 28th of April. So get down there and volunteer.
We're looking for, just so you guys know, it's a volunteer drive. We're having the firehouses being open. There is a committee that is working and have presentations, and there's going to be multiple activities going on this day, so all are welcome and encouraged to come and visit your local firehouse.
Thank you, Michael. Sorry, we're late.
Oh, no problem. I had Washington Stanford earlier. I'm glad you're still here, that when I got here. Sometimes I've gotten here and you're not. So, several months back, I reported about how we acknowledged the 150th anniversary of the Dutchess County Regiment going off to the Civil War. We had a speaker series and press conference out in Poughkeepsie. and they issued a special, post office issued a special stamp for that and first day covers. And I actually picked up one of these for each of the towns I represent. It's been sitting on my desk, and so I finally brought it here. I'm going to give it to the town for anyone who's interested, but it's the special postage stamps and stamp for the day that they were issued. It's first day cover, so I'll bring this up.
Thanks.
That's very fun.
And as you know, this is our year of heritage resolution that I passed. There's a number of events that are taking place, including May 7th. There'll be a tourism day. I'll be in Poughkeepsie. They're announcing the winners of the school scholarship. A number of students wrote essays based on historical significance of their community. Every school district, with the exception of Rhinebeck, participated, and a huge amount from Pine Plains and Weebatuck participated. Some of the topics is the board and milk factory that people have written about, also Bennett College out in Millbrook, and the students had wide latitude, and so it's interesting to see what they wrote about, and the winners will be announced. Then there'll be at least one winner from every school district, so that'll be May 7th. A couple things. The legislature met this past week. We passed 4 bonds. These are typical bonds that we have each year dealing with roads and bridges and culverts. That was $3.5 million. We've also had vehicle bonds that we have every year. We bought 30 new vehicles. The majority of them are for the sheriff's office. The only controversial part of that was that the sheriff was asking for 10 marked and 10 unmarked, and we legislators felt that there should be more marked than unmarked, so that as they're driving throughout the community, people can be aware that there's a police presence. So we got 15 marked and 5 unmarked. And then the other 2 bonds dealt with energy upgrades to buildings, as well as machinery purchases, plows and mowers and chippers and whatnot. So those 4 bonds came to about $5.5 million, and that's typical for each year based upon replacing things. So we did those 4 bonds. We also had a lot on our agenda dealing with solid waste. As I told you, it was only a couple weeks ago now, we had the SWAMP, the Solid Waste Management Plan, come forward. There was a lot in there, but it was very vague, and an amendment that I made to the resolution says that anything building a facility or any significant changes will have to come back before the legislature and will have to go through the CEQA procedure. And that way there'll be public hearings, there'll be towns, and that specifically is looking at that ash landfill. There's a concern of mine that if we just gave them a blank check, that it could pop up in a community that did not want it. We also made amendments to the ash landfill language, saying that the county, instead of the county will look into siting an ash landfill, they will look into alternatives to transporting the ash out to Buffalo. And therefore it's a more broader context, and any specifics has to come back to us. As a whole, the solid waste management plan passed, but as I mentioned, it is a vague, ambiguous document, and it's very verbose, which comes down to, with the amendment, it comes down to saying we're going to increase recycling to 60% over the next 10 years, and beyond that, it really doesn't say much else. It has a good vision, and it's more of a vision than I think of a plan, but in the long run, I think it's a missed opportunity. I think we had an opportunity here to do more in the area of solid waste, and I still think some will take place with increased composting, but it is, I think it's a weaker document than it could have been. It really virtually does not change the course at all with the Resource Recovery Agency and the burn plant, and I think that that's a conversation that the legislature needs to keep having, because their contract is up next year with their operator, so there will be renewals. That's between the Resource Recovery Agency, which is a public authority, and whoever they contract with, but if they don't make profits, county's on the hook, so we, I think, need to be a player in that conversation, and my hope as a legislator is to keep us at the table. So we passed the SWAMP. Also in the SWAMP, they had closed the MRF, the Materials Recovery Facility in Poughkeepsie. That was where recycling took place. The county, in a sense, owned through the RRA. That was shut down in December, largely because in Beacon there's a new private business that's doing single stream recycling, and there was no need government could back out now because the private industry was doing that. So that building shut down in December, was put up for sale. There was one bidder, and that was Marist College, and so we approved the sale, and Marist will purchase that property. It's in Poughkeepsie, right by the campus, and then they will rehabilitate the site, I assume take down the factory and clean up the environment, however the condition was left from the MRF. So we voted on that as well. So that's the main things that we did this month. And unless there's any more questions, I'm done.
I spoke to the lady that runs the,
Lindsay Carrill, the
correct.
Director of
And
Solid
you had
Waste.
spoken to her, and I made it very clear that we're not taking the ash here
Yeah,
again.
I was very critical on the floor last Thursday, committee day,
Correct.
and I invoked the Amenia Town Board, as in the conversations we had, as well as in Millbrook. It was very, there was a lot of community concern due to the history with the landfill, and and I made it very clear that this can't, you need towns to buy in. If the town wants one, that's great, but that's not, that needs to come from the bottom up, and that I wanted to make sure the legislature is involved, and it's not just a blank check to the county exec to just do. And the amendment I put in place.
I talked to her. I understand why they don't privatize the thing.
Mhm.
I know that they're going to lose money. They're going to lose money no matter what.
Mhm.
But we're a small town. We privatize our transfer station. We saved a lot of money.
Right.
People are happy
The-
with it.
wh-
I know that she explained to me about the money and the bonds and this and that. But at this point, I don't see how the Dutchess County is going to run that thing and make money. You'll never do it.
The issue, I mean, it could, because there have been two bonds. The first bond, which is the original bond, expires. And then you have the second bond, which is for the Clean Air Act scrubbers on the smokestacks. That bond goes forward, but you had two bonds, one of them disappears. So the opportunity for them continuing the status quo to make a profit or at least break even is very possible. The difficulty is we now have a goal of increased recycling. We're at 20%. We want to go to 60%. When you're taking garbage out of the waste stream to recycle, you're taking it away from the burn plant. So in the same sense, we're we want to recycle more, which is a goal, but then if you have a burn plant that you want to make a profit, if you're taking the garbage away, they lose money, we pay as a taxpayer. So we're kind of, either way, we're screwed. Their plan, which I'm not supportive of, is that they will make up the difference by importing out-of-county garbage. And I just don't think that's the answer. I think what they need to do is really reevaluate the role of the Resource Recovery Agency. We took away the planning responsibilities last year. They still have regulating and management responsibilities. And I think we need to ask, do we need an RRA going forward? Do we need a waste energy plant? Maybe we should just wash our hands of it and basically privatize it, as you guys did with your transfer
And
station.
most towns are doing it, privatizing the transfer station.
The logic is, and this isn't my logic, but this is the logic, is that we've invested taxpayers so much money into the waste energy plant over the years that now that we're finally able to make a profit, we should be able to take the benefit since we've had the burden for so many years. And there is some merit to that, but I kind of think there needs to be an end date and say, well, right now we'll maintain it while we're building our recycling ability, our composting facilities, but at some point there needs to be an end date, and I'm not hearing that.
And I think the technology is changing.
Mhm.
It's already an outdated system.
Right.
So at this point, for the county to be involved, to bring it up to par, it's just going to cost the taxpayers more and more money. The private people can do it at less cost.
And-
Obviously, I'm not telling you
right.
anything that's.
And their thought specifically along that is a turbine. The turbine's not the wrong size to produce the most amount of electricity.
Right.
The Resource Recovery Agency has a bonding authority. They could bond without the county being involved, and we're on the hook, and they may very well do that. But what I'm being told is they would only bond to make it profitable at the same time, but I don't believe that based upon the history that we've had. As long as we're on the hook to make any difference, why should they? And that's the fear, that I kind of think we just need to sever. But it's not in the swamp. We passed the swamp, but I think we can't afford to let another 10 years go by before we review our solid waste management plan. And I think myself and the rest of the legislators need to be more active. I'm meeting with the chairman on Wednesday with this very notion in mind that, okay, we passed the swamp. Recycling is a great goal, but we can't wash our hands and walk away. We need to now keep going forward and figuring out what our next plan is. So it's I think the discussion is going to continue.
Forgot to mention this isn't about the county, but we're doing cleanup day on April 27th, that's Saturday, and I'll be here 10 a.m. Oh, actually here at the town hall at 9 a.m. to provide gloves and bags, if anybody, large contractor bags, if anybody wants to call me ahead of time and get the bags ahead of time, that's fine too. I'm at 845-489-7826, and we'll be driving around and picking up garbage if you personally can't get it to the transfer station. Welsh has agreed to do it for free. So if you're a volunteer and you're bringing roadside trash or trail trash, anything in the civic centers, you can bring it there free and you don't need a pass. But do give me your name so that I can put the list of names, give it to Welsh so that they know who our volunteers are.
Good.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second it.
One last announcement? I thought you were going to ask Mike something. Yeah, so then, and we're meeting here, Vicki? Because I thought it was Fountain Square. We're going to be meeting
9
here?
o'clock, I'll provide some
Okay.
trash bags here. At 10 to noon is when the cleanup
Okay, I'll be quick.
occurs.
I'm exhausted too. This is the last meeting before April 20th, Saturday. Diana Hanbury King is going to be giving a lecture on English gardens. We're hoping to get much larger turnout for this. Did you know her great-grandfather was one of the founding members of the National Trust in England? And that's what we based our National Trust on in this country. And in the 80s, so she grew up with this, and then in the 80s she went on a 20-day tour to like 26 of those, I don't know if Mike, can you zoom in on that? I don't even know. Like a 20-day tour of those 26 gardens. She took all sorts of slides. We scanned them all in. Luckily, saved some of them. They were all deteriorating. But anyway, so if you want to hear about English gardens right from the source, from somebody who's lived it their whole lives before she moves to Arizona, which I think is coming by next year, come see Diana Hanbury King give a lecture on English gardens, April 20th, Saturday, 2 p.m. right here at Town Hall. Thank you. Oh, Mike? I think Mike put it on his website right away. And it got likes, and it got spread, and he liked our site. Now, all of you, everybody in town government, if they liked us, we'd double the amount of likes. So somebody's not holding up their end here. So go to the Facebook, like it, spread the
Facebook
word.
and like the lecture series.
Right away.
Yeah.
Within an hour.
So you get foiled to be all set.
Yeah.
That's what happens. I'll make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.